Hey guys, how's the audio? Is everything good? I want to say hi to everybody coming in. I'm so glad y'all are here. Still a little newbie at this, so give me a little grace here. Yeah, they sell out to harass for money. Exactly. So, I mean, that was just me having a little fun with the secret project video. And not really fun necessarily, but the clips that they had in there made them look bad too. But to me, it was like there are these other moments that we all remember, right? Candace, your baby's dead. The milk, all the trespassing, all the misinformation that is yelled out continually at these sites where people are going through tragedy. Yeah, there might be a suspect or a perpetrator or someone there like Leilani, but there's also a ripple effect, right? There's other people there that aren't involved that are feeling the negative effects of their advocacy. I agree, Mike. I don't and we'll get into that. I don't consider it cancel culture either. It YouTube finally did what they should have done several years ago, right? So when I planned this live yesterday, it was I my intentions were to ask everyone like, "What the hell is going on?" Because I missed so much in those 10 days and I literally came back and I felt like I was in the twilight zone because everything just seems so different. It was like, am I an upside down world right now? It seemed like a lot, and, like, I felt like I needed to know what had happened to cause this breakup, but now I feel like that part is insignificant, and it probably doesn't matter as much. Oh, be Tim, yay! I was
Welcome
feeling
to the Twilight
lonely up
Zone.
here.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Thank you, right? It's been insane out there, and I've seen a couple videos, or a couple lives where people have addressed what I want to address. The fact that we don't have to pick a side, that they're both wrong on several things.
Yeah, that's fine.
And, you
I,
know,
I think
yeah.
like the problem is that you. I mean, that's why I said like wait 6 months to a year and see how she acts.
Hmm.
And I don't think people should be leaping to be like, well, this person's the greatest person. And you can't forget the
Right.
past and the bad behavior in the past. You have to basically see how it relates to what she's going to do in the future. Does she change or is she going to keep up to her shitty ways? I mean, that's the whole thing. And there's a lot of
Hmm.
people, I don't judge people who still don't like this person based upon the past behavior. And the problem is, for instance, the whole pinata thing, the pinata. I know I'm butchering the word. I can't fucking speak. Sorry.
Pinata.
Yeah, sorry. The problem is that when you hang around bad people and you do like fucked up things, people look into what you've done and they look into deeper and they don't give you the benefit of the doubt because of all the things you've done in the past. And I don't blame people for that. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? The same thing with the whole situation with the blackface thing. You know what I mean? Like there were people that
Hmm.
just like me believed that, and there were people majority didn't. I mean, out of the chat, 70%, almost 70% voted it wasn't, but 30% believed it was. And it's based upon bad actions in the past, and it's how it is. You hang around with shitty people, people have shitty opinions about you, I guess.
That's very true. And it's very good statements. The thing that I want to address is I've seen a lot of people on these streets giving Mallory that free pass. And I'm not saying you beat him, but I have seen some creators that are like, just because she has turned on Molly, now all of her past transgressions are forgiven.
Well, I think it's tribalism, probably.
You
It's
think?
probably, yeah, it's a little bit tribalism, like pick a side type of deal. Um, you know, but also, I think like Mallory's done a couple of things that are interesting. Like, for instance, she went on a panel, she was patient, she answered everyone's questions. Normally, people don't normally do that in that situation. You see it all the time. They just start cursing at you. Another thing is the apology she gave to Mo on the hive. I mean, it could all be what it is,
Mhm.
but that's what I'm saying. It's like it's an effort, and her taking down the video, but there's still more, and that's why I said wait
But
6 months and see
but
what
did
happens.
she take down the video because she genuinely felt convicted to take it down because she realized she was hurting the survivor of this trauma, or did you take it down because she felt pressured?
Well,
That's
that's
my
for people to
question.
decide. That's not. I mean,
That
I
is for, and we won't know that, will we?
yeah,
Like,
I'm
that's
not in her
for,
brain. I don't know
yep,
what she's thinking. I can't decide on whether
exactly.
you can only judge by a person's on their actions. You can't get into their brain. I can't tell you what she's thinking at that time when she's doing it. I mean, I would like to hope that that person did it for the right reasons, but you never know with people. You can't read their brains. Um,
Exactly.
I mean, so I mean, I'm not sit. I mean, like I just have my opinion. If anyone thinks I went at her lightly, I refer you to go to Monday's stream and watch. See if I
Oh, I
was
don't
very
think
nice.
you went at her as a lightweight at all. I don't think you did.
Yeah. If anything, I'm still referred to as the pain in the ass. So I mean, honestly, in most situations, I'm referred to back. So um,
That's okay.
I mean, I just think it is. T gave her hell. Yeah, I did. I absolutely did give her hell. And it's like, I mean, like, but that's the truth. You
Mhm.
have to give people hell. And, like, they have to answer the questions. But I didn't, you know what? I wasn't being an asshole. I didn't do any insults. I didn't curse at the person. I just went with my arguments and let people decide. And they can decide on their own. That's how it is. But I mean, with the whole pinata thing, I mean, you can make your decision based on that. There's some people say, well, because she saw the article, I mean, she might have saw the article and had a secret joke that they were putting up. Or you could just go with the simple thing that it was a rainbow. It was the only thing that was a rainbow, and she just wanted to honor the memorial.
Well, and we have to take her word as truth because, again, we're not in her head, so we don't know.
Yeah. And also, it's like, but that's the problem. When you do a lot of shitty things, people don't think the best of your behavior. Like, let's say I fuck,
Exactly.
like, let's say I did the same thing. Let's say, like, we were in a scenario that I did the same thing. I poured like a rainbow pinata. People would probably say, no, B10 would never think like that and do something like that because I wouldn't have a past behavior of doing shitty things. And people would be like, yeah, well, I give them the benefit of doubt. But Mallory doesn't have the benefit of the doubt because a lot of people have seen a lot of things she said and did were shitty, and she has to earn that trust with people and with future behavior. And if she, that's why I said wait 6 months to a year and see what happens.
I agree. And my it's not an issue, it's not a concern. I don't know what word to put to it, but I see a lot of subs in the comment section who aren't there. They're not, a lot of people are already like, "Oh, I forgive her for what she's done and I'm willing to move on and see what happens in the future." And there are a lot of subs that aren't there, and I don't think they're wrong either.
No, they're
I don't
not.
think they're wrong
I,
either.
I think you have to judge people by their actions. You can't just be like just because someone's at war with someone you don't like doesn't make them your friend. Okay, it's like you have to
Exactly.
see what their actions are going to do in the future. But I say like just watch and see how it goes, and you make your own decision. I don't like people just making freaking decisions on based on their favorite content creator's opinion on someone. Make your own decision.
Right.
Don't care about my opinion. Don't care about like anyone's opinion. Just make it on your own. Look at the facts and make your own decision on the facts that are presented to you. And that's it. And don't be brainwashed. Don't be a brainwashed Molly follower like those people who are brainwashed. They follow whoever she tells them to follow. Don't do that. Just make your own decision. That's all. I'm surprised no one else is jumping on your panel, to be
Well,
honest with
okay, I was just going to interrupt you. So the glare hopped up here, and I just realized I trusted that it was you very willingly, and I don't have one of those overlays yet. How
you.
do
Yeah, no, you could.
do I just,
It's fine. That's fine. Whatever.
let me see. We'll see if we get more bombed, I guess we get more bombed.
Well, you can always delete the stream.
Right. Hello?
Am I on?
Okay,
Sorry,
yes.
I was looking at the chat.
No, you're fine. I was just realizing that like I didn't do anything to protect myself, so I should probably
E-
be careful with who I add.
I didn't think about it either. Like I never open my panel anymore either, so I didn't. But yeah, I didn't think about it either. But first, I just wanted to tell you, I'm glad you're live because I don't think have you ever gone live before?
Just
Um,
once,
okay.
when JLR tried to dox, Gabble Geeks as me. I hear an echo. Does anybody else hear an echo?
Oh, that's right. No, I remember. I watched that live. What am I thinking? Um, and no, but great video on JLR. I really wanted to tell
Thank
you
you.
that because that was
Thank
amazing.
you.
Um, but yeah, I'm finding I'm gonna try to be nice when I say these things,
I
but
appreciate that.
this whole I'm laughing watching all of this, the Mallory and Molly and how people are reacting to it. I find it really humorous, um, because first of all, there me and a few other creators who have been following and reviewing Molly Golightly, Bullhorn Betty, even Mallory for a long time. Um,
Mhm.
when this heels on the ground thing started, uh, we called it. We said that this was going to happen. That they were going to, this was going to implode.
Right.
These type of personalities cannot coexist for an extended period of time. Um, and so, but it's really funny though, because as I was explaining, because I know that I have a lot of followers from the drama community as well, and and I'm grateful for that and everything. But it's really funny to me to watch this because as I was explaining, I told somebody else this this situation with Mallory and MGL uh, to me is like a black light, right? It's a black light, and my audience is like bed sheets. So I
Uh,
get to see.
okay.
So I get
That's a vivid description there.
I'll explain. I get to see who in my audience actually cares about victims being victimized
Okay.
further in these crime cases versus the ones who are most concerned with the drama, right?
Right.
And so these people who are all of a sudden just taking Mallory's word because she took down a video. Ooh,
Right.
let me let me pause. Let me rethink my entire sense of faith.
Mhm.
Because Mallory did one thing once she was put in a position to where she didn't have any more friends and she needed to make new ones because she just ended a friendship with somebody that she latched onto to get a lot of followers. So
Mhm.
for people to not see through this, I find really, really funny. All is forgiven because they hate MGL that much. You know what I mean?
That's where I'm kind of feeling that people are, and maybe it's just my perception, but I feel
Nope,
like
it's mine too.
so many people are just, we're so glad that another creator hates Molly, and
we like to
we
call that
can now latch onto this.
we like to call that simping around here.
Right.
And there's a lot of it going on right now, and I think it's hilarious. Um, I wouldn't. It's not even something that I could get mad at. It's something that's to be predicted.
Did we lose him, or did I
Yeah,
lose
he
him?
lost. We lost him. I
Okay.
was just waiting for him
Okay.
to talk.
I don't
May-
know. It's like,
The
wait,
reason
it went
Maybe
quiet.
you cut out the glare. You cut out.
Mhm.
So people didn't hear like two sentences what you said. So you might want to repeat what you said.
Okay, I'm
Real quick,
sorry.
real quick before you do that, Blair, I haven't mentioned it, and I think the chat has been really good so far, but I absolutely will not stand for any bashing of any gender, anything at all like that.
Yeah,
That's
that's not
not
okay.
going to be acceptable here, and it never will be on a DeetS platform. So I just want to make that clear, but I don't think I've seen any. And but you can disagree with what Mallory has done, and you can talk about what Mallory has done. That doesn't encompass that. So I just
Oh,
want to make
I
clear to the chat that we're not going to do that here. Okay.
yeah, that's not okay at all, ever. Like on any
Mm-mm.
circumstance, and that's the thing is it has nothing to do with it. You know,
Right.
her gender to me has absolutely nothing to do with her behavior and my opinion of her. And so for people to make it about that just minimizes, it doesn't help, because the issue is that she is using and trying to weasel her way into a part of this community where people genuinely care about missing people and people who were unjustly taken from this world. This is somebody who is trying to use that and exploit it. And she's actually been pretty honest about it. That's what's really funny, is this entire time since she's been on YouTube and she's gotten on the radar talking about these cases, she's admitted, like, she makes these jokes, like in the video that you just played, makes these jokes about these victims and whatnot, because she thinks, she fancies herself a comedian and blah, blah, blah. And so she makes all these jokes, and she has actually, you know, she's actually been honest about what her intentions are. And she's always, that's why they call her PayPal Mal, because she's always just grifting for donations. And she's trying to say the most shocking thing and trying to fancy herself as some sort of shock jock as well. And everyone sees it, you know, well, at least those of us with eyes.
With eyesight, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, she admits it, basically. She
And
admits that she's begging.
That's my thing, is that she admits it too. But now all of a sudden, this whole perception of her seems to change in this corner of the community, because she's no longer friends with MGL.
That's my issue.
Well, that's a little bit of tribalism. I just think, like, honestly, I don't want her to make any jokes about the true crime community. I wish she just goes back to drama and just makes fun of people, to be honest with you.
I love that you
pretty
said
much
that. And I'm sorry, I'll. This is the last thing, because I mean, I'll stay on, but I wanted to say, because I don't want to lose this thought, that I have no issue with the drama community at all, and as a matter of fact, to some degree, I enjoy it. You know, it's fun to listen to. But the thing is it has no business in the true crime community. That's always been my issue. That's always going to be my issue, and I'm always going to call out creators that are exploiting these victims, period. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with the drama community. Like I said, I enjoy it to some degree. There's people in the drama community that I get along with. But
yeah, there's some funny streams. Absolutely.
Sure. But I my whole issue is just stay out of the true crime community, because you're not doing it any good. And you're making it really bad.
Well, I mean, I said that to Mallory. I basically said, like, there's a lot of victims' families that watch these cases, and you don't want them to watch and feel bad. You know, I mean, they're going through enough, and they don't need jokes on top of it. And it's not a good position to do, actually. It's not good. You should just do your comedy on drama and just leave the true crime stuff alone, because families victims watch it, basically.
Do you think that something I've noticed is these creators that have switched over from drama to true crime, which is absolutely fine. You're allowed to cover whatever you want. But there seems to be a lack of empathy in that coverage.
Right.
And that's where I struggle.
And I should probably reword how I put that, you know, when I say, you know, stay out of the true crime community. You know, it's more like you put it. It's say whatever you want, cover whatever you want, but at least have empathy towards the victims. At least don't, you know, don't exploit them. Don't make their personal lives and involve yourself in their personal lives, and then create this dramatic situation for clicks and views on your channel. It's horrible. It happens all the time. It happened in Summer Wells case.
Absolutely. I think Jason says it. They are not true crime. They are basically National Enquirer. Yeah, I agree.
That's a blunt way to put it, and I like it.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I think people are sympathetic to, like, because she's being trans bashed, and people are gonna see. You know, they want to like. They don't like Molly. Molly's a piece of shit. But you can't just forget about every bad thing Mallory's done. And that's why I said you got to wait till what she's doing. But honestly, I don't think she should be in the true crime space. I think she should just do her comedy thing, avoid that, and just fucking go about with that. I don't think, because when you're doing true crime, you got to stick with the facts, because you can fuck up. I mean, I'll give an example. I'm trying to remember the case, but a guy who got lost duck hunting. He was drowned. They haven't found his body, and they were spreading rumors about the pregnant wife did it, had something. There was Reddit and all these rumors came around. They were calling up this woman and they were harassing her. And it's just like, you can't have that shit in true crime, because rumors can ruin people's lives and possibly cause miscarriage, because that woman had a first miscarriage beforehand and could have gotten a second miscarriage because of all the stress. So you can't have someone that just like, it's a very important field. You gotta really take it seriously. That's my opinion.
And I want to address this. There is no police in the true crime genre. Absolutely not. And that's why, you know, Mallory is free to run her channel, of course, however she wants to. No one here is saying, she should be shut down for what she's doing, but we are free to commentate on it.
Right.
Absolutely,
Totally.
the same that she is. So,
Totally.
and
Yeah.
free to voice our opinions on the fact that what we think she has done to victims and their families is tragic, and she doesn't get a pass on that. That's
No,
not my
especially
vote.
if there's nothing in her actions that would even indicate that she is remotely sorry for anything that she's done. There's just nothing to indicate it. As a matter of fact, it's just everything just seems to be in line with what we already feel about her. I mean, this is another opportunity now. Now she's found a new corner of YouTube to be able to find sanctuary. She wants that sanctuary. She can benefit from that sanctuary. She's benefiting from that sanctuary. And it's exactly what somebody like her would do. She burned one bridge, so she went to another.
Can I ask a question of you, Claire?
Sure.
What would it take for you? Is it a matter of time, or what type of actions would you need this Mallory to do to basically say, okay, she's more empathetic to the situations, maybe apologetic about her past? Like, what type of actions do you think would probably make people think, hey, she's apologetic? Besides time.
Start covering cases, or stop talking about the cases after a sincere apology. Or, like I said, to begin with, start talking about the cases in a more responsible fashion and showing actual and displaying that you care about these victims in some way. But I would prefer, I don't think she does care. So to give a sincere apology and then just stay away from these crime cases, and not talk about these victims the way that she has. They're not punchlines,
Yeah, agreed. They're not punchlines. You shouldn't make punchlines about victims. Agreed.
Yeah, the whole milk and
but that's
everything
just
was
my
thrown into it. It
opinion.
was a lot.
I mean,
That's what it would take for me. That's how I would,
Which is respectable. I mean, like, listen, you got, I don't think the victims are punchlines, and you got to really, I personally don't think it's a good idea. You got to cover these cases more seriously. They're not jokes. But yeah, personally, I'm more of like lines of seeing what happens in 6 months to a year. Maybe she'll apologize, take down more videos, see her actions. But that's why I don't just jump on the bandwagon, and I don't condemn anyone that just says I don't trust this person at all, because you gotta wait, gotta see what they do. That's pretty much it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm just not. Yeah. That's where I'm at. Is that everybody's. You could. I posted something in regards to this.
What'd you post?
Which was people celebrating too early. People are acting like they're already singing "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead" about MGL. Like she's.
Well, I mean, Skeptic had it best.
She's not going anywhere. I don't know why everybody's celebrating. It's so funny.
Scientific Skeptic, right?
Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, you saw his post, right? His community post, which is pretty good.
That was very good.
You should read it. It basically it highlighted everything you basically said. You should. It was posted like 8 hours ago. I'll just put it in the back chat. Like, I'll just give you a link and you can check it out, and you can read it. Because I'm terrible at reading out documents, because it's like almost 8 o'clock and whatever. It's like almost 8 o'clock. So here you can watch it. And it basically it happened to Chris McDonough. Chris McDonough's basically he highlights was taken down and came back, and now he's got even more subs. Just it is what it is. She just went a little bit too far with her transphobic behavior, and eventually YouTube just protected their brand. I don't know why it took YouTube so long. This woman was harassing victims and spreading misinformation and lies about people and doxing her own fans. They should have banned this woman fucking years ago. Her whole channel should be deleted. She should not have a platform to harass people, to
Okay.
dox people. She's a garbage human being. A lot of them should be
So
gone.
my question for you, BTM, is besides doxing people, which I don't believe Mallory has done,
Yeah.
how are her actions different than Molly's? And so you say that Molly should be taken down for her actions and should have for quite some time. Why should Mallory have not been?
Well, I think like originally when she basically went out into the scene, she should have probably gotten a strike. She should have gone. This YouTube should have done something. So maybe
Mhm.
she should be banned. Who knows? If we're gonna like, I just don't like people going RL. I don't like people going in front of houses or stuff like that. I just don't.
Me either. I just feel like there is a huge double standard happening here in this community right now. And
Yeah,
maybe it's just me, but
no, it's not.
that's what I am seeing is this big double standard because Mallory has turned on Molly, then it's all good.
Well, if we highlight like, okay, let's highlight all the bad things. Let's just like just make a category. Okay, she says terrible fucking jokes about victims, garbage human being when she says that. Okay, so she says that she went in front of a house with during the Quentin Simon situation, just like Molly. Um, what else can we put in the?
She showed up to St. Jude's Hospital trying to
She sewed
film
up
healing.
James. Yeah, exactly. Thank
Mhm.
you.
I mean, to me,
I
that's
think I thought she
wrong.
did it in blackface. Personally, I went at her with that. You
She
know, with
might as
this.
well have, yeah. It was really, it was, and it was for the sake of being distasteful. It was for
Yeah.
the sake of that. That was her motive. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it wasn't like she was like, oh, let me go
But
film
now,
St. Jude kids to make people aware of cancer in children and bring awareness. And that this is, it's a bad method to use, but she wasn't trying to bring awareness to anything. She was trying to be shocking. She was trying to make people mad. And she was willing to put
but
kids in
she
danger to do it.
no, she has her excuse. She has her explanation. She says she's, her father's biracial. She said that she
Yes.
wasn't meant to do that. It's her. You can make a decision based on listening to that. I'm not going to go into the mind of someone, or can I? I have my thoughts. People can think for themselves. But now we look at Molly. What has she done? She has doxed multiple people. Like I can't even like
Oh,
probably like
yeah.
100 people. She showed their information. She's gotten people fired from their jobs. She's proceeded. I mean, there's probably dozens of other things she's probably done. And she's also lied to her fans. She's misappropriated funds. She's pretended that she had a charity that doesn't exist and lied to all her fans about Heels on the Ground so she can create a documentary or a TV show that so she can chase fame. I think people are just like comparing the two and they says, oh, Molly's a fucking horrible person. So they're all jumping on that person. And I think that's what's happening. I think people say Molly's a worse evil than Mallory. I think maybe that's the
And
situation.
that's
There's a
my
few
point
Molly's out
is
there.
we don't have to pick the lesser of the two evils here. We
Yeah,
don't.
you can call them.
We can agree that the behavior all the way around from both of them has been unacceptable on multiple fronts. We
Yeah,
Right.
don't have
agree.
to choose.
It's the side taking mentality that I find really fascinating that I am definitely seeing from an
You don't
outside
think
perspective. And I think you can agree with me, DeetS. It's very, very bizarre to see that and just why do you feel like you need to make a choice here between these two?
I felt like I literally felt like I came back to the Twilight Zone. I was like, what is going on here? My very first live that I listened to, I hop into Queen's chat as I always do, and it's Mallory up there on panel. I'm like, what is going on
maybe
here?
like
It was
maybe people
insane.
are picking sides with Mallory because they feel sympathetic for our trans woman being bashed. Maybe that sympathy is bleeding
And they
over to picking
should
a
give her
side.
sympathy for that. I agree.
You
Agreed.
know,
She is a
Or
victim
the
of that trans
or
bashing.
right,
Absolutely.
right, or the trans community in general, sure, and express
Mhm.
some sort of, but the thing is the trans issue is irrelevant to the entire overall situation, and that's why Molly sucks for bringing it up and using it. Agreed, but at the same time, it's the focus on that is now being it seems like it's overflowing in over onto and kind of drowning out the real issue here, which is these victims
mhm.
in these
Yeah, they're getting
crimes.
lost, aren't they?
um and yeah, and it's not. I agree that Molly, is horrible.
Yeah,
She's
Yeah,
been like this for years.
yeah.
I don't think
She's
anybody's debating that.
Yeah, I don't think
Right.
anyone's taken up for Molly Golightly. I think she's a terrible person.
Mhm.
I just don't want to forget the overall issue because and Mallory is not the only other Molly, and trust me, she's another Molly, and there's a lot of other Mollys out there, and I just feel like we should hold a higher standard for how we get our information regarding these cases that involve real people who are going through something I hope to God nobody here ever has to go through,
I do.
you know?
so you're
It's
basically
very
say
traumatic.
you're basically saying just don't forget about her past actions and just don't put like the rose-colored glasses basically immediately and just wait.
Yeah,
Right. I'm not saying that. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, Molly's wrong for using her being trans. Nobody's debating that. You
Hmm?
know, but it's like just because she went through that, all of a sudden we have to forget everything that she's
Oh,
done,
absolutely
and
not. Don't
and
forget a thing.
you know. It sucks because you have to like really be careful how you word this because I don't want to make anyone mad,
exactly.
but
This is a
I mean,
very
listen, let
touchy
the hate
subject.
glare, let the hate come in. Like the hate's great, man. Let's go.
well,
Let
I
it
mean,
in.
I don't hate anyone. That's the whole thing is
I
I
hate
don't
this
hate.
entire chat. I hate
B
everyone.
Tim
So
hates everybody.
I hate everyone. I don't, just let it go. Let it in. Like the Sith Lord. Like, come on.
Yeah, most of the time I just find humor in looking at things that happen on a mass level. Like YouTube is really fun for that because it happens all the time. Where something that just doesn't really make a lot of sense ends up picking up on a mass level, and people start thinking that way, and you're just like, wow, dude, like it's not just one person; it's like thousands in this case,
Hmm.
So
and it
this is
happens
a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
all
I
the
thought
time.
you were done.
I was just gonna say it happens
Yeah,
all the time.
it does. It does. This is a great
Yeah.
question. Do you think
Literally,
this is a real fight or manufactured for content?
I
Because
think it's real. I think it's
I,
real.
I do now. I will admit that probably
I didn't
Monday.
think so
I
at
thought it was
first.
manufactured. Yeah, I thought it was manufactured on
Yeah, me
Monday.
too. I thought it was first.
But
I thought it was manufactured first because people had to pay their taxes and they're like, oh shit, we need money
good
now.
point. Good point.
We were like, how could, but I think like seeing all the deleted videos, it's like, this is like horrible for her channel. But, and also I think Lorelai says she will either straighten up or cancel herself with bad behavior. She's on their radar. Yeah. Between go on Unique channel, very easy to find. You will see her response about Mallory's doxing prior to heels on the ground. Yeah, I don't know
Oh
about that. I'll have to
gosh.
look that up.
Yeah,
Thank
see,
you.
I'm not aware of any doxing, but I'm not saying she hasn't. I've never seen it. I haven't
I've
seen any clips of it, so I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I have to like I go by actually seeing videos of it. I don't
Hmm.
go by people's words. The chat,
Right.
I don't trust the chat. I trust the chat, but I don't trust the chat. So I'll have to watch the video. I don't trust no one. No
Okay, we
offense to
got
anyone.
Glare dropped down and
Glare Rant.
Cactus Jones
Uh,
is up here.
his internet might be bad. Maybe he dropped down. Who knows?
He
Is it
might have.
Jones it up?
It's Populous Jones.
Oh
Hmm?
shit.
Johnson could come up because she's the best.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing?
Hello, how are you?
Good, good. Yeah, I kind of said that yesterday. I think a lot of people are just sort of saying, well, she's going against Molly, so I'm going to, forget about everything and start anew. And kind of like what Molly did with her whole stream yesterday. It was like, or the other day, she did all this bad stuff. All of a sudden, oh, I'm doing a charity for St. Jude's, and everything behind me is wiped clean. It's how she came across.
That's a good point, actually. That's a pretty good point you said about the St. Jude's thing, because a lot of people like fucking perplex QT, holy fuck. That person literally was like, you can't you are happy that you stopped her from doing her charity raise for St. Jude's. And it's like, no, just because she's pretending to do one good thing doesn't wash away all her terrible behavior.
Hang
And I think that's what the glare is basically saying. Just because Mallory's doing a couple of good things doesn't wash away all her bad deeds in the past, and people should remember that. That's what I think he's basically saying.
Hey, beat it. One
Uh,
second. Glare, I had to mute you because there was like a lot of feedback there. So
Oh,
I'll
I'm
unmute
sorry.
you. Oh, no, you're good now. Okay.
Okay.
It was just when you
So,
first popped up.
what good things has she done exactly? Besides, she took down the video about
Well,
Michael Vaughn, right? What else?
the Michael Bond, yeah, and also she apologized to Mo. She said that she will try to change her content. Because when Mo came up, she also believed that Mallory went in there with blackface, and she was really breaking down about how she can't change her skin color, and she has to deal with a lot of situations. And Mallory did come up. Mallory did come up and apologize for it, and basically said she will try to change her content, and that's another thing she did. That's what I heard. Now you can believe that she did it because she did, maybe it was sounded bad or whatnot, but that's what I seen.
That's awesome. I hope the drama community like welcomes her, with open arms, and you know what I mean? Like whatever, as long as, like I said, this Monkey Vaughn stuff and the stuff like it and the Summer Wells stuff, that's all I really care about. You know what I mean?
Me
Like,
too.
and I'm not saying I'm not entertained by the other stuff. Sure I am. I wouldn't be up here otherwise. But it's, because this is what we're discussing. But the whole, as far as like what bothers me is simply the stuff that I really truly care about is the stuff with the cases that these people just don't seem to have any empathy at all for how their actions are affecting others.
Yeah.
Some
And
even
I
think it's
agree.
heroes.
In my in that video I did
Oh,
before this live, there's only one tiny spot where it's not a true crime. I have an echo. Does anybody else have one?
there's a bit of an echo. But Allison says she also spoke directly with Brandy Neal as well, from what I understand. Yeah, so she should probably, yeah, she definitely needs to apologize for the milk and the Candace. I thought that was disgusting, but
I don't think she's sorry for those things. I think the only
That's true.
reason she took the Monkey Vaughn thing down was because we were talking to her about it and we were
Right.
begging her.
I agree, Johnson.
yeah.
Yeah, and
I
how much
agree.
how much convincing did
Hey,
it take? I didn't listen to it, but how much convincing did it take?
a
Well, I
little
wanted
bit.
to.
A
It
little
took a
bit.
lot, I think, but I
Yeah.
wanted to play this real quick because this is where I have an issue with Mallory. And let me see if I'm doing this right. So give me
Oh
some
shit.
grace. Do
Deets will
I
be
Uh,
have
Deets.
So I'm playing this video. Do I have to mute to play it or do I just play it?
You could
no, you
just,
don't have to mute.
yeah, no.
Okay.
I'll mute so no, there's no sound from me.
See, I just don't know. So
Uh-oh.
this is Queen's
Uh-oh.
channel. We love
I'm
our
up
Queen.
there.
If anyone
Shit.
could drop her link. This is just I really liked what Nanya asked her, and I
All
just think
right,
that it should be talked about.
let's listen.
My second question, and I'll jump down. So I heard you mentioning before I got up here that your priority is clicks and views, right? And
Yes,
so
that's
are
what
you
YouTube wants
saying,
us to do. Let me just say that again. That's what YouTube wants us to do.
okay, so
Wow.
because YouTube wants you to do content that gets clicks and views, you will continue to do, even moving forward from here, of what you've learned and what you've experienced recently over the last couple of weeks, you will continue to do that content despite who may be affected, offended, or hurt by the content that you put out.
What content would you be referring to?
Good
Well,
question.
St. Jude, Brandy Neal, the
All of them.
2% stuff, like that content
You
is
said in the last couple
obviously
of weeks. You said in the last couple of weeks, but now you're going back pretty far.
no. I said from what you've experienced over the last couple of weeks, right? Which seems to be eye opening for you, and you're coming around to what, were the haters and all that stuff, right? What
No,
I'm
I've
saying
got
is moving
okay.
forward
Moving
with your
forward, yes,
content.
I'll be doing whatever content I feel like doing. As far as haters, I've had haters ever since I stepped on this platform. Haters are
Yeah.
nothing new for me.
So
Yeah.
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if your content hurts a community or a person
Let's
moving
just say
forward,
bothers a
but it,
community. Bothers a community.
so
Okay.
I don't
I would
hurt
like,
anyone.
well, but I'm not saying
Mm.
bothers. I don't think it bothered Brandy Neal. I don't think it bothered people that you went to where sick children were. I think it hurt people that you did
I don't
that.
think it hurt anyone.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that because that's
But
not
to
even the
answer
point.
your question, I will do the content that I feel like doing.
So,
And I think right after that, we were just like, all right. I mean, like, what are you going to say to that? Like, what do
right?
you
Like,
say?
there is no willingness for change of behavior in that dialogue right there.
Right. It seems like the only thing that would motivate her to change her behavior is acceptance. I don't respect that at all, and
They
that
can't.
there's no way that sincerity is there's no genuine sincerity when that's the case. It's just not possible.
And, she had apologized to Mo later, that who is an African American
American
lady.
woman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she was upset with Mallory. Well, later Mallory came back up on the panel that night and apologized to Mo, but then the very next time she did a stream where she was feeling herself, she was talking about her 2% blackness again. And it's just like, okay, so what was the apology for to Mo then, if you're going to continue to do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like the very next stream she did it again.
I didn't see that, Jones, and that's very
Yeah, I didn't see
disappointing.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So all we have to go off of, right,
Johnson, where's
as
the
a
clips? Why
community.
don't you not
Yeah,
get a
you
clip?
gotta get
Damn
that.
it.
See, Tim, I've been
You're
taking a break.
lazy.
DeetS, you've been on vacation, bitch. I'm on vacation too.
Jesus Christ.
Keep going now.
How am I supposed to watch these people and you don't even make the clips?
I'll try to
Fucking
find it. If
concept.
I find it, I'll email it to y'all.
But I just completely forgot what I was going to say. That made me laugh so much.
Oh, okay.
No, if there's no, all we have to go off of as a community, right, is pattern of behavior, pattern of past behavior,
Right.
and your word, because everybody should, your word should be your bond. Doesn't mean that it necessarily is, obviously,
And how
but it
does your
should
word
be.
establish credibility? Through your behavior.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
she's telling us, I'm not going to change. We heard those clips where she, is talking very
Absolutely.
poorly
Yeah.
about Summer and what she did to Brandy Neal. And, there's a couple others that I didn't even put in there. And there's
Well,
no willingness for change or growth, is what that sounds like to me.
well, if she does do another joke, I'll be sure to fucking talk about it for sure and not be nice about it. Like, that's how I am.
I came in a little late. Was the whole
Mhm.
gist of the conversation about people hate bonding? Is that what's
Well, I
going
mean,
on?
I think the basis, and I'm sorry if I'm speaking for you, Claire. I'm just going to make a quick, unless you want to make a summary of what your position is, Claire, again.
No, please go ahead.
I think your summary is everyone's basically jumping on Team Mallory and kind of forgetting about all the shitty things she's done in the past because they hate Molly so much.
Right. Hate bonding.
I think that's happening on, a lot. I'm not saying that's everyone,
Yeah.
but it's clearly the case.
It is happening. I mean, we see it even in, Queen's chat. If House of Williams is in there, you see some people just completely accepting her and, communicating with her. And then you got other people that are just completely still against her. So, I mean, I don't know.
I feel it's a couple things. It's the people, like you said, a small portion of people, which is a large portion, come to YouTube for that are hating MGL and going that route for that way. And I think other people are doing it because she is trans or whatever is going on with her. You know
Now,
what I mean? Like,
what do you think of
I
later
think a lot of people
justices?
it's politically correct, and I think a lot of people are walking on eggshells because of that. And I think she's taken advantage of that, honestly. And that's how I
What
look at it.
Yeah.
When I
What do
look
you
at
think?
her, in my opinion, she's over the top. She's like a '90s, like flamboyant. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the character she wants to do. And she's even said that. That's why I don't take anything she says seriously. Like, she needs to be out of here. And I mean, she just
Yeah, I think they all need to be
thing
gone.
about
I
true
agree.
crime at all. She needs to go make her sorry ass jokes somewhere else, on YouTube, yeah, but somewhere else. We don't need it here in this thing, and it's ridiculous. And I feel like people are, because it's politically correct not to say anything. No one can say anything because of that. And I feel like
Mhm.
So
all
I
political
don't.
Populist.
that too.
So
I'm not saying
populist, let me hang on, guys.
and combine
You
that
feel
within
that she
jail.
is being covered with a umbrella and
Yes.
that she's untouchable because
I think she
she
feels
is in a
that.
protected community. Okay, so you think she feels that.
I think
I
she
don't
I
feels
agree
kind
with
of
that,
think
that.
and
she,
keep going.
I kind of do
I don't
though.
either.
I
You
don't agree with that. I've gone
a
after this
lot of
person.
people, I think a lot of people are treating her with kid gloves, as you would say, because of that very reason. Not only because of the Molly situation, you know, some people are doing it for that, and a lot of people that we see on YouTube are doing that because we're in this little community here and we see them. But I think a lot of people, just politically correctly, they're not wanting to say anything, and they're kind of okay. We're gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, you know, because of all that crap, man. I'm telling you, I see it, and
What do you
that's.
I
think of?
I'm
What do
not
you think
saying
of?
they're not out there to bash or anything. They're just like they know that if they say anything that is borderline about that, then they're gonna cancel.
Well,
Oh, wait, whoa.
And I
Wait.
feel that.
You can criticize someone's behavior and
Yeah,
not go after them like like how
absolutely.
I've done it in the past too. You could say, well, you shouldn't have gone to St. Jude's and try to sneak in and turn St. Jude's into content. Absolutely, you shouldn't do that. But you could do that. I'm not giving her any kids gloves. I don't care who you are. It is what it is. The arguments if you do something wrong, you're going to be called out on it. And no one's playing politics or worried about anything. I think people are just sympathetic to someone who's being basically trans bashed, and that's
Well, she
pretty much
is.
it.
No,
And
basically to it. She
and
is.
also, I would say that Real Lady Justice commented, when someone apologizes, you don't judge on the past, you move forward and judge of future conduct. So if you see her fucking falling back, if
well,
you see
that's
her, yeah, but if you see her falling back and basically doing the same shit, judge her ass. Make a
But here's
video
the
on her.
thing.
But I
She
feel
hasn't
like we clean
apologized.
slated it. We clean
I mean,
slated it for her right
in a
off the bat.
perfect world, in a perfect world,
Any,
that's great. But the
anywhere
fact
else
of the
this would
matter is,
happen.
I'm sorry. Um,
Go ahead.
uh, I was saying, in a perfect world, what Lady Justice is saying, sure, great. But the thing is we know her all too well. Like all of a sudden, I'm supposed to just let my guard down.
Don't.
I'm supposed to just look at her like, oh man, let's see how she handles future true crime cases. No, I'm going to continue to, at the minute that she is covering a crime case or starts talking about it, I'm going to look into it and see what she says.
You
And
should.
absolutely.
and if I see people are getting fooled by her because they think that she's such an advocate, I'm going to call out her for what she is. That is what I do on my channel. I do that with not just her, but so many other people.
You're going to call her out for
I-
misinformation if she has misinformation on the case and stuff like that.
Misinformation, verbal abuse towards a victim or somebody
Yeah.
who is
Good.
victimized. I mean, but I don't. The thing is I'm not going to just sit here and have this attitude like, well, she apologized, so clean slate. No, dude. Like people are being victimized by her behavior. Otherwise, I wouldn't care what she's doing.
Well,
I
think what you should do is, what if she does in the future, you can use the past to correlate with what she's doing in the future and say, look, she hasn't changed. She did this bullshit pretend apology, and look, she's doing the same thing, and make your video based on that and do criticism. And I think that's the case. But I think you should just wait and see. I would say wait 6 months to a year, or maybe the next day she proves herself wrong, and just wait and see how it goes.
Real quick here, Tim. Lady Justice, I didn't see you back there. Sorry. Are you
Yeah,
there
no
now?
worries. I just
Okay.
wanted to jump up quick and
All right, I'm gonna mute for a second, and you guys can debate this out.
I'm not going to debate anything. I'm not going to also sit and judge the sincerity of somebody's apology. I mean, I'm in a business where I represent people that do wrongs every day. And I don't know when they truly accept um, responsibility when they say it for their actions, when they say it, and when they receive punishment or backlash or cost to themselves or their families. I don't know that, and I don't think anyone on this earth knows if somebody is sincere when they make an apology. And it's not just saying I'm sorry. And for those that didn't have the benefit of listening to the apology, I was on the road that day, so I did actually happen to listen to it. It's accepting and acknowledging what the behavior that others, found offensive. And I wasn't a party to any of it, so I really can't speak on that. But, there was more than just, okay, I'm sorry. I mean, there was a discussion about it. There was an acknowledgement of the behavior that was offensive. And,
I,
and a little bit, maybe, a little bit of reluctance. But the bottom line is, two things is when somebody comes and they say, accept responsibility and apologize, I'm not going to judge them on what they did in the past. I'm going to judge them on what they do moving forward. And I don't think that that means giving anyone a pass. I think
I would.
I think that what that means is for me, if there's the hateful, vile conduct, doxing, being domestic terrorists is my term for, some of this tragedy pimping that goes on. I'm going to call you out. You meaning anybody. I'm going to call you out whether you apologize yesterday or not. But like if you apologize, and a couple days later you're engaging in the same behavior, I'm, that kind of tells the sincerity of the apology is your future conduct, not your past conduct. I haven't been here for 5 years. I don't know what, Mallory's track record is, but I also am going to say is, speaking specifically of her, is I think that the wild kind of behavior that we've seen and being a member of the trans community, it's not that it's an excuse. Hate speech is hate speech. But
It
when you're
is.
doing hate speech to a community that is um, particularly susceptible to violence, and then you're doxing, okay, their home
Mhm.
and that kind of stuff, I think that maybe, and we won't know again by past behavior, we'll only know by future behavior. Maybe Mallory sees things through a different lens, and none of us will know whether it's her or MGL. I mean, MGL, I don't think will ever apologize. Neither will Laura. I mean, they'll just keep justifying and getting other people to pile on and do their dirty work behind the scenes. And all of us should hold everyone to the same standard and not be afraid to, to call it out. And, I think at that point it is what it is, but I'm not
No,
here to judge that.
I agree with you, Lady Justice. However, she only apologized for one behavior, and that was towards Mo. And the rest was just like, that's my content. That's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna continue to act that way. So
Right.
there is no
that's how I felt.
apology or remorse there.
I
If
will be
there
fair.
was, I would agree with every single point,
Deets, Deets, I will say one thing. Your clip basically shows before she went on the on in the hive and actually apologized to Mo. So
I
maybe
know.
her.
I agree with the Mo apology. Like, yes, I know she
But
did that.
but the clip she played, is that not evidence to indicate that her apology is not going to be sincere?
Well, I mean, the thing is
Let's be
when I
honest
talk
here.
about changing behavior and maybe being a little bit more in tune with, yeah, I was probably a little bit, out of control there or whatever, is was, I don't know if it was last night, but there was someone that got on the panel and was offended by her, some of her comments that were race based. And Mallory got on unsolicited, unprompted, and had a discussion and
Yeah, that was Mo.
apologized. It was, she didn't have to do anything. Her name wasn't, even brought up. It was just simply somebody talking about how offended and hurt and how it hurt to the core what was being said. So, I'm not justifying any behavior, and I don't know how deep this goes, but you know, um,
Well, she
I'll continue to call out the vile behavior. I'm just not going to sit and judge somebody for what they did in the past because as Glare says, there's many, 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 and too many. I don't watch too many, listen to too many channels, but there, not that, you know, not that there's not a lot of other people that are doing the same thing. I think that maybe this it's a new day with seeing someone who thought they were untouchable go down, and maybe people will start to rein it in. And if they don't, okay, Laura, I mean, I saw some vile
Yeah.
stuff in her chat. If they don't, if they think that
Oh,
they
that
are
lady.
Yeah, that was
Fuck that
untouchable,
lady.
we're not going to get.
Yeah.
They're not going to get flagged, and they're not going to go down. Then they're a little crazy. And some of these people, in fact, the vast majority of them rely on YouTube for their, to pay their bills. So, fuck around, find out, people, because it isn't going to
but
continue.
but that's Mallory, and she proves that, and
Mhm.
that again is another motive as to why her apology would be argued as forced,
Well,
because she has so much to lose by being just totally ostracized from YouTube. If everybody turned their back on her, she would have no income.
But
uh,
again, if we judge her by what she does in the future, it's judge her by the standard of conduct and behavior. I
Yeah.
don't care if it's Mallory, if it's you, or another lawyer. It doesn't matter. If you're going to do these kinds of things, you're subject to the same code of conduct that you're going to be called out on it,
I
right?
mean, like, I mean, like, honestly, I think
So
that's
so
probably a good
call out
idea.
so call out some but report others.
No.
You
No.
know what I mean? Like, so I'm saying it's why shouldn't the community have a higher standard based on past behavior? You know what I mean? Why shouldn't they set their standards based on that? All of
Well,
a
it
sudden,
definitely goes into account. You're always gonna look at past behavior, but I understand what you're saying. But even you said the person that was speaking before said, "Hey, it's gonna be. I gotta wait a couple days. She may do something. We're not gonna know." Like Tim said, it's gonna take time. It's gonna be her actions moving
Yeah.
forward. Yeah, moving forward is gonna show what she's all about. But for everything she's done in the past, if you can't, I don't care if she apologized for one thing, like DeetS said, she didn't apologize for the 17 other things. You know what I mean? So like, and was it really, like Larry just said, was it really an apology? She's counting on YouTube as a livelihood. So honest, I mean, she's gonna. I mean, her views and everything probably went down. That's why she went over to Queen Bee's and got on there and did.
absolutely.
I don't think her views went down on that drama. That drama actually put her views up, actually.
No,
But
I think Willow said it exactly right. There was never any mention of changed behavior or any intention of changed behavior. Which, B Tim, you know that. Like I said, at a point, it got to a point we were just like, okay. I mean,
I agree to disagree. Yeah,
yeah,
I
agree
know.
to disagree. There's nothing else we can say if you're sitting here telling us you're going to continue your bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I had an argument with her, a debate, and I think, I don't like jokes in the true crime sphere. I think like this should be treated with a lot of respect because, I mean, like it's one thing to watch it on TV, but it's another thing to actually hear victims cry on a live and see them pour their hearts out, and you just have a certain feeling like, you can't fuck around with this stuff. You can't make jokes with people's families that can watch these videos. That's how I
right?
feel.
I agree.
Yeah, well, I'm going to trust but verify by future
Yeah,
behavior. You guys have a good night.
you
Good
too,
I
night.
agree
Hey,
with that.
Justice.
I do agree with that we
All
should
right.
trust but verify. But
Yeah.
I do trust Mallory, and she said she's not changing. So
Well, I
That
mean,
exactly right. Exactly
well,
right.
well, you'll clip her and you'll fucking put it on your channel, and you'll.
How much evidence do you need? Is all I'm saying.
But what
agree.
Packless, I wanted to touch on what Packless was saying earlier. I don't think he was saying necessary. Well, she does kind of use being trans as a protective shield. But we also got to remember there have been so many streams that we have done where we have called Mallory out for taking a situation that had nothing to do with being trans. Nobody commenting about her being trans. And she turned it into calling us bigots because we didn't like her actions.
Also,
Yes.
I will like Cam now says she didn't lie. I mean, like if she was really like, I mean, and this is not, I'm not a Mallory, but she just basically was brutally honest. She's like, yeah,
I agree.
I do it for clicks and views. I do
And
everything. It's like,
And
I
I'll
mean,
keep doing it.
and I
I'll keep doing
respect
it.
and appreciate that about her.
I mean, it's
I
not
truly
good.
do.
It's not good at
What does
all.
she do? Where does it stop? Where does it start?
Yeah, well,
She's
that's
putting out there like, this is my real life. This is who I am. And then she's like,
yeah,
oh no, this is a character. So what
yeah.
is it? I'm
I
like,
mean,
Right.
did you watch the live where I said, "Where's the line in the comedy? Like, where do
I
you
didn't
draw the
hear that.
line?" Yeah,
Well, I'm
that's
like,
what I
I'm
asked.
talking about just in real life. I mean, she, the way she's using that, like, Jonesy just said, she uses that, being trans, like the helper in some situations, or goes to that direction because she's in trouble for something else. She's done that in the past. It's like, where does the line
Mhm.
draw there? And I just
Yeah,
feel like, I mean, I'm not bashing anyone. You do what you want to do, but I feel like a lot of people. I'll say it again. A lot of people are the handler with kid gloves because of that.
I don't
Because
handle
not
kid
not
gloves.
Well, I just find it funny because we keep talking about comedy, right? That's her thing, comedy.
Yes.
But I seem to remember the entire community collectively feeling like she wasn't funny at all until she started making jokes about MGL.
Well, that was
Mhm.
the only time it was funny. That was
When
the
she
Right.
rare
would
times I
drag
laughed.
MGL and Full
But that's
Harmony. Yeah.
because you dislike MGL so
Could
much. So
be,
then you,
Exactly.
or
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
could
I get
be.
that. I'm guilty of that too. Um, I mean, I
I'm
told
gonna
her,
go go in a fight with MGL. I don't even watch her. I honestly, I have not even watched one video of her.
I hope she
I have
goes.
no
I hope
clue.
her all her channels get deleted, and she, yeah, I just like, I actually will be so happy with all her channels. I actually hope Dolly's channel gets deleted. I hope Justin's channel gets deleted. I have a list of people I want all their channels deleted, every single fucking one of them. Bye. You can go away. I have a
That's
list.
me, Tim. That is
It
me,
takes
Tim.
so much. It takes
I
so
don't
much.
feel that way.
But yeah, I just wanted to say one more thing, and I'll get off the panel. I really feel like a lot of people, for the very reason that they hate MGL so much, for the same reason that they're trying to, because she's trans, or taking a little easier, they're letting her, okay, we'll accept your apology on this, we'll give you kind of a clean slate and move on. Where let's pick another person out of the crowd. Are we going to do that for them? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a weird situation right
What do you
there.
mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what
Well,
your situation.
let's say, well, we can't use Molly go lightly, but let's say, Justin, we pull him, and he's gonna get canceled or whatever, or he says that,
He should have been canceled for what he did. He doxed an SA victim. I don't know why YouTube even lets him on. He showed the whole fucking dox of an alleged SA victim on a live.
Mhm.
He tried to like deconstruct an image to show a dead body of a
I'm
16-year-old
just showing an
girl.
example, Tim. I,
Yeah,
but I'm saying, what if Molly would have done that to Justin? Would everybody have Justin's back on the same thing, or they say, "Oh, your past behavior"? Because Mallory was down there
you
at,
mean
like,
like if he was like if she was like, oh, I don't like, I don't even want to repeat it because it's a lie, because it
yeah,
might people
just
might
you don't
clip,
have to say
but
it.
said he doesn't like him because of his sexual preferences,
Yeah,
and then proceeded to gay bash him on, like, and you would think people would. That's actually a pretty good thought process to think about.
I don't know. I would like to think that I would still stand up for wrong is wrong and right is
Yeah,
right.
I would
I would
stand
like
up.
to think that, but
I
sometimes you get caught up.
I would stand up for him, but I would still like his channel to be deleted. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have
Um,
no problem with them
Tim just
deleting
wants
House of
everybody
Williams
deleted.
now.
He's just gonna delete it all.
Get rid of them.
I'm not for cancel culture. Like, listen, the reason why I don't like what they did. Well, what, Claire? Say what you
What?
want. Say it. Say it.
I
Come
mean,
on, Claire. Come on. Say what you mean. Come on. Let's go.
for somebody who isn't for cancel culture, you're talking a lot about canceling a lot of people.
You don't
You know,
think? Wait
Yeah,
a
you
minute.
are.
just being
Wait a
honest,
minute, Claire.
like,
You are.
Claire, you don't think
yeah.
Molly's channel should be deleted?
Um, I'm not gonna say whether I think I see. This is my philosophy. I don't believe it's my place to say who should be deleted and who shouldn't be deleted. But
Why?
Me either.
I prefer that, because what ends up happening is, even in mainstream and in mainstream pop culture, right? When someone gets canceled, it's because the people demanded it. Like, the only reason Roseanne got kicked off of her own show and blackballed in Hollywood
Absolutely. Yep.
was because everyone threw a fit about what
I
she
love
said.
that bitch.
You see what I'm saying?
Well,
Now,
she was in.
do you
Oh,
think that the network gives a shit about what she says? Do you think that the sponsors really give a shit? The only reason the sponsors gave a shit what she said was because their consumers, the ones that buy their products, were loud and yelling about the fact that she had said these things, that put them all in an outrage.
can I
Now,
ask? Oh,
what I'm saying is, this is to answer your question, Tim.
yeah.
What I'm
So
saying
sorry.
is, I think it's more effective. Now, it might be a pipe dream, I'll admit that, but it's more effective if people hold a higher standard for the content that they consume. collectively. So
that is a pipe dream. That is a definitely
I
a
know
pipe dream. That's more of a pipe dream than
but
my
the thing is,
deleted.
the thing is, this is America, so you could boot these people off of YouTube, but they're loud, and it's in their nature to be loud, and it's in their nature to be heard, and it's in their nature to piss people off, and they're going to find a way to do it. As long as they're breathing, they'll find a way to do it. It's in their nature.
Do you think
So
people should be deleted if they break?
YouTube's not going to do anything.
Do you think people should be deleted if they break the TOS?
I think it's. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, they got canceled. That's not fair. I mean, you agree to terms of service when you become a YouTube user. You agree to terms of service. So there are consequences. And if you are subject to those consequences due to breaking terms of service, then so be it. But I'm not the type of person to report people or incite mass reporting. That's not.
No, I'm not asking for. But do you think like they all broke TOS? Basically, that would result in termination of their channels.
I believe that if YouTube sees it fit to terminate their channels, then it's because they violated TOS, and so be it. Like I said, your actions always have consequences. You know, if it is what it is. But I'm not going to say what should be and what shouldn't be. You know, it's just not my place to say.
You're against hate mobs.
I'm not against YouTube. I'm not an executive at YouTube to make these kind of decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what if like they broke all the TOS? That's my thing. That's why I think they should be deleted, because they broke all the TOS. And YouTube refuses to actually do their TOS and allow these people to be on the platform. These people should not be on this platform.
Everyone breaks TOS to some degree or another. I break TOS all the time. I cuss. I don't filter myself. You know what I mean? So, but
I've never seen you in front of someone's house, nor have I seen you harass and get someone fired.
No, exactly. But again, you're talking about picking
or dox people,
cherry picking which violations of TOS should be taken seriously and which ones shouldn't. You see what I'm saying? One way or the other. I mean, if you're going to call that somebody gets deleted for breaking TOS, then I mean, it's only fair that everybody gets deleted for breaking TOS, right?
Sure, why not?
Right. So channels that you like.
No.
I'll delete my channel. I'll absolutely delete my channel.
No,
if I get Molly Golightly to delete her channel. 100%. Let's do that.
Well, what does that solve? What does that solve?
Let's
all delete our channels at the same time.
Let's do it, Claire. Let's do it all together.
Well, what would that solve? You know, what would that solve?
I think a big issue, though, is going back to YouTube's terms of service, is they are not extremely clear in some contexts. You know, some portions of them have very gray areas on what is allowed and what is not allowed. And so I think it should be put on them to maybe clean that up a bit so that we could have more clear definitions of what they expect from us as creators.
Yeah, I mean,
but I absolutely agree that if, you know, you violated enough to where YouTube deems that they need to remove you, I respect that.
Right. So be it. Exactly. I agree with that. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I think YouTube should just allow everyone to curse and actually act like adults, because there is a YouTube Kids. I think that's ridiculous. But, you know, I mean, like, I think once you get people fired, once you get your own subscribers doxxed on a live, once you proceed to do like harmful activities to people in real life, yeah, I think your channel should be deleted, because you're a danger. You're using your platform as a danger to disrupt and destroy people's lives. And I don't think you should have the right to have a YouTube channel at that point, because you're like a cult leader. And I believe cult leaders should not have YouTube channels at that point. I mean,
I think it's difficult.
You know,
it's amazing how everybody's brain thinks so differently. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think someone should be canceled because they say something mean and something like that. No, but, you know, I mean, in the same context, you kind of are mad at Mallory because she said something mean. Would you want her to delete her channel because of that, or would you let her proceed?
If it broke terms of service, and YouTube went after her. Now, I don't ever report anyone. So
I don't either.
I feel like if someone is affected enough that they report someone, and then YouTube reviews that and believes that, you know, that goes against terms of service, then
so that's fair game. Sure.
Yeah.
Because you have that's what the report button is for. You know, you have every right to report somebody if you have been affected in some way. I mean, you know, all I'm saying is I reserve the right to simply use my First Amendment right to criticize the abuse of someone else's First Amendment rights. You know, that's basically what I do. And I am happy that way. You know, but I don't criticize it or put someone down if they feel the need to report someone because they were affected in their own way by someone's content.
Okay.
Right. And I agree with Chasing here. If we treat YouTube like a job, then there are rules. And you can break a rule and be late, but not harass and dox.
Well, that's what the
So if they
strikes are for.
violate that, yeah. Exactly. So you know, they give you chances. They give you chances
Right.
to redeem yourself and change your behavior. It's
Yeah.
up to the creator to do so.
I mean, you look at Critical K, and Critical K got her channel removed. And it's a very rare thing when it happens. And Critical K is just as bad as Molly. Actually, I think at this point, Molly could probably be considered worse. But her channel finally got removed. I don't know what it took to get it removed. I had nothing to do with that. I simply reviewed her myself. But
I think Twitter.
But I mean, her channel got removed, and it is effective. She has an alt channel now, but it doesn't get nearly the traffic that her old channel did. Not even close. It's actually kind of fun to watch because it's really pathetic. Because she has like nobody worth the shit listening to her at all anymore, you know. But and I to me that's more effective. You know what I mean? Like seeing that's satisfying. But again, that would mean that, you know, her channel would have had to been removed, you know, to get that result and for me to have something to laugh at and enjoy.
I'm a very simple man. I just want her off the platform. I don't like having her have power over people's lives. I think she takes advantage. A lot of her fans are people that don't have real life friends, and they basically come onto this platform and they kind of come here because they gain a community. I've seen it in multiple. I've seen it in Dolly's chat. I've seen it in multiple, and they come here and then they get this community, and the cult leader says, "Give me some money." And we're gonna, and they get into this community, and then it's just like it spirals. I feel like they're taking advantage not of some of their fans, but they're also taking advantage of tragedies. I've seen a whole fucking road of tragedies, and where these people have come around and destroyed these people's lives, and they just go to the next one, and they go to the next one, and YouTube refuses to delete them.
We're in full agreement on the problem.
Yeah, I know that.
Absolutely.
An agreement on the problem. We just differ on our opinions on what the solution should necessarily be. That's all. And you know, someone just commented saying she's really loud on other channels, Blair, something to that effect. And that, you know, or she's loud on Facebook or whatever, which just proves my point. It's just another example of my point is if you push to get these people off of this platform, people who are on this platform that are on other platforms, they're still being reached just via other platforms. So you're not really shutting them up. You know what I mean?
I consider
Not
like taking out.
no.
I consider like taking out the trash. I mean, you always have to take out the trash, and it's a constant thing. So we'll just for this platform, take out the trash and let them have and then if we go on that platform, we'll take out the trash there. It's a thankless job, but someone has to do it.
And I agree with Willow here. If we get to play judge and executioner, then that is a dangerous slope to be on.
Well put.
And I agree completely with that. I heard another, I don't know if it was a creator or just someone on their panel say, who asked, who determines, I can't remember what it was, but who determines the morality of the channel, that they have changed their ways and they're not doing these horrible things, the doxing, the bashing, the hate speech and attacking families and stuff. Who determines that? It can't be us.
Exactly.
It cannot be other creators.
All right, we're going to have to get the scientific skeptic guy here. We're going to have to make a tribunal. We're all going to be part of the tribunal. We're going to judge them, and that's how we're going to do in the future. What do you think, guys?
Can I address Captain Napton's comment for me, because we're big fans of each other?
Okay.
But she made. Now I lost the comment.
I'll read you the comment. I can scroll.
But
It's actually gone. I think it is gone. I can't read it for you.
This
why
one?
is it gone?
Oh wait, it
Is that
says.
not a doctor? That one?
It says, Chase and Cheese, since I am not a doxer, can I at least yell at my coworkers every once in a while at smoking post?
Smoking post.
Oh, well, I misread it. But well, yeah. I mean, but if you get fired for that, then so be it. I'm just not going to rat on you to the boss for yelling at the coworker for smoking, and I'm not going to rat on the smoker for smoking if they're not supposed to be smoking. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that I would judge somebody else for doing it. I'm just saying it's just not in my nature to do that. But if that person gets fired, it's because they broke the rules of work, and so yeah. See ya.
What happens if that person, like, let's say, starts stealing money from like the break room? You're gonna report that guy, right? You're gonna be like, "Hey, this guy's stealing from the company. He should be fired."
If they steal my money, yeah.
Oh wait, you're not gonna report them if they're stealing money from the company?
I'm gonna no.
I don't think I would either.
I would.
I'm gonna mind my damn motherfucking business.
Unless it's my job to track the money. And that becomes a question of my own work ethic, but no, that's not my business.
I would absolutely.
That's getting deep now, guys.
Well, that goes back to morality, you know. I mean, yeah, you're gonna be a normal person.
So am I an immoral person for not reporting somebody
for
stealing
someone's money? Yeah, I think that's pretty immoral. I would find that pretty offensive. If someone stole my money out of my backpack at work and you saw it, you didn't say nothing.
That's different. I would tell
you.
If
it was you individually, absolutely. If it was just a coworker, absolutely.
Yeah, well, if you're both working at the same place and they're stealing money and it's only going to hurt you in the long run, you're not going to mention that. I mean, there has to be a fine line. If they're breaking the terms of TOS, where it's going to be the banning or the firing for that action, then you should tell that action. If it's like you said, you're late for work, yeah, you're not going to say nothing. You weren't at your desk for the first 2 minutes. No. But if you're doing something that's, fireable offense or that's really hurting someone or the company, you're going to say something at that point. That makes sense to me. And that comes
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. And I'm not judging you for being the type that would report it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying me as an individual, I worry about me, my own, and that's it. I'm not trying to stick my nose into something where it doesn't belong in that sense.
So that goes back to if it's not hurting anyone, then yeah. But if it's
a moral issue for you, I understand that, and I'm not going to judge you for it. It's not a moral issue for me if someone reports it or not.
That's like if it was me and Packless in a luncheon room or something at work and we seen somebody stealing money somehow from the company. I don't know how you would see that, but whatever. That would be like Packless.
There's a cookie jar.
There's a cookie jar. Sure, whatever. There's a tip jar.
Wednesdays.
Yeah. And Packless is like, oh, fuck, I'm going to go tell. I'm going to be the one that's like, go ahead, do your thing. It ain't me.
I would absolutely tell. I'm telling you, I don't like people stealing from the company because it's not good. I don't like thief because you don't know what else they're going to do.
I don't like it, but
I'm gonna be like, what's
it's okay?
I'm gonna be like that
Here
school.
we go.
What's that old cartoon with like the schoolyard kids? The little guy who writes up everyone in the back. What is his name? I'm trying to remember that name now. I'm gonna be that guy. I'm joking.
I'm gonna be like, look, go snitch, do your thing, but that ain't me. That's what I'm gonna be like.
I think I get the point that the glare was maybe trying to make, or maybe I'm just interpreting it as such. But I think it depends on the situation, my own morality. Like if I see something bad happening, like trans fashion, would I report that? Absolutely, because it's wrong and it's vile. Attacking little kids that are families of missing people, absolutely. Someone stealing at work, yeah, I probably would report that just because. I mean, if I see you doing something illegal that's going to affect, the company that I work for, that in turn might hurt me, then maybe, I don't know if there are some Great
Well, but
area.
that
I
goes back to reporting on videos, right? Deets, like you don't
Right.
report videos, I don't
And that's
report videos, but we know
thank
that
you.
people do.
And I
But
was just getting to that,
it's
like,
somebody's
but
job to monitor the money in the company, and just like it's somebody's job to monitor the videos on YouTube. It's not my job to do that. It's not your job to do that.
but isn't
Your
it?
employer's like, stay in your lane, buddy. Don't get out of your lane. You're in that
But
lane.
wait,
Don't get out.
but
Come
don't
on.
you judge videos on a daily basis about the
and
wrongdoing of
that is
YouTubers?
kind of your thing.
Yeah, you
But
do that all the time,
sure. Because
which is
like if
nothing wrong
somebody,
with it.
well, what I'm saying is if somebody was stealing from the company and then they tried to fucking act like they were Mr. High and moral, sure, I'd be like, dude, I just fucking saw you steal from the company. Shut the fuck up. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that's what I do. You know what
Okay.
I mean?
I
Like
was gonna
I
say
don't.
that earlier when you were
Yeah.
talking to Cappy, like, okay, you might not report her, but you definitely commentate on what she was doing.
I'd rather pick a fight with the person than go and fucking rat them out. You know what I
Oh, I
mean?
don't know about that. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I would just. I'd be like, listen, you're an immoral piece of shit. I don't like immoral piece of shit stealing from the company. I don't want you to be around me because I don't know if you're stealing from other people. I don't know
Sure.
what you. And that's how I am. I'm very black and white. If you're
Well,
hurting people and you're stealing
But
from
it's
them,
somebody's job to monitor that money and make sure that money's not getting stolen. It's not my
moral.
job. If it is my job, then I report it.
I mean,
well,
Yeah, but
morals are not
it's
about.
like telling a lie. No one's going to believe anything you say. It's like crying wolf. You know, the boy cried wolf. When the wolf finally came, no one believed him because he said it so many times. He wasn't telling the truth. So, I mean,
Well, I feel like whether I go snitch or not, if I see something like that, even if I choose to keep it to myself, I'm still always going to watch that person. I'm always going to side eye that person. I'm never going to trust them. I know what kind of human being they are, but I don't feel like that says a lot for me. I don't feel like I'm a terrible person for not
Right.
going and snitching, you know. And misfit Brit,
Well,
so if you
I
see a
mean,
kid
you
being
do.
kidnapped, hold on, if you see a kid being kidnapped, you wouldn't say anything because it's not your business. No, ma'am. We ain't
You
going to do
would.
that. That is
No.
Yeah.
not what we're talking about.
Apples and oranges, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Apples and
that's
Come
completely
oranges.
on,
different
man.
scenario. I did
and
call. That is
Oh.
true. Allison is got a point. I did call the police on the possum, so that could be something. I did call the
And
police on the possum.
Sleepy Goosey coming in with some hard facts. So we're back
Uh-oh.
at square one. It depends on if you personally like that person. If you personally think that that's a good person, even though others think they're a crap bag, like the company they're stealing from. I'm
I
not
don't get
sure.
it.
Like,
Hold
So
on.
we're back
or
to square
she's
one.
saying, yep. Go ahead, Peter.
I'm just gonna read it low, and I'll let you talk.
yeah, but just look at her action. I mean, look at the actions of, you saw them steal something. So, like, it's like lying. You hear someone lie, you can't tell if they're lying every time they're speaking, or what are you going to have to? Oh, I don't think they're lying about that one, or I don't think they're stealing from me, but they're stealing from the company. You just can't. That's just a bad action. What do you call it? Bad acting. It's their personality. Obviously, if they're stealing that, then who knows what else they're stealing? If they're lying here,
Well, I
who
mean,
knows they're lying?
basically,
If
I
they're
think what
from
she's
here,
saying,
who knows what
she's
they're
saying,
passionate.
I think basically what she's saying is that people don't want to report on the thief, like basically the guy who steals from the cookie jar, because it's not their problem or they're friends with them. But that's and it's kind of relates to Mallory's situation where it's like the same thing kind of thing.
Well, it's
Like,
like
I
what we
don't know
do.
because I don't like Mallory.
Well, no,
yeah, we know you don't like Mallory.
So,
what you
I
do
mean,
like
but I
when you
didn't
would
go
go and
report
reach
her.
out and talk to them. You would be like, "Hey, how you doing? I saw you take that. You probably shouldn't do that. Have a little discussion after your friend. Maybe someone should have pulled Mallory aside and said, "Hey, look, man, you're hanging out, you're doing this and that."
Yeah,
Maybe
come
it
on.
did happen. Maybe she's like, "Hey, I'm doing my own thing." We don't know all that. If it was even done like
All
that.
right. I think Sleuthy Goosey's going to come up and explain her question, what she
So
means.
that comes to my question is there a difference between, the online world and real life? Because there are actions that I would report in real life that I don't online. Like I don't
I
report
agree.
channels.
I
And
agree. Yeah.
I probably should when you see something, say something, but I just
Mm-hmm.
don't because I feel like, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to be involved in that. But if I saw a coworker stealing, would I report that? Yeah. If I saw someone kidnapping a kid, would I report that? Yeah. So why am I not inclined to online?
Why are you
I
not
mean,
inclined to
Any
if
what?
input?
it's that,
Well,
Why am I not inclined to when it's an online thing?
Is she
Because you're
saying,
looking at it not as being that bad. You know, you're looking at it like, okay, someone stole a little bit of money. Someone stole the cookie from the cookie jar at work. Someone kidnapped a kid. I mean, we're jumping. That's a big stretch there. You know, like,
Yeah.
so if you're
Well,
reporting Molly or whoever for a serious terms of service violation, and you're letting them know, hey, look, she did this, and it's really bad. You know, not kidnap a kid, but let's use that as an example. She kidnapped this kid. I'm telling you that, you know, that's fine. I have no problem with that. If she's saying, "Oh, you're a dumbass, I don't like you," and you're reporting that, come on, that's stupid. You know, that's there is a line there, and it
So have
comes
I?
back to your morality. In most cases, I mean, with a
but who
cookie,
gets to
yeah, it doesn't
set the
matter.
line?
You two, it does matter because they're doxing, they're giving addresses, they're giving real names. I mean, so that's a big deal. I would hope someone would turn, you know, not turn the other cheek and say, oh, it's not they're not doxing me, so I'm not concerned. I mean,
well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I
that's what it
mean,
comes down to.
look at, okay, but see, oh God, our brains are all so different. Okay. But the way Glare was just saying that he would rather speak on it. Take that for example. He'd rather speak on it than go and report it. That's the same way I do. I'd rather bring attention to it, bring awareness to it, but I'm not going to go report it. I
Now,
don't.
if that person,
Yes, I agree.
uh, if that person gets reported, I'm not going to shed a tear for them, and I'm not going to judge the person that reported them because,
Hell no.
again, it's none of my business how that was affected, how that person was affected. They have a right to react in whatever way is appropriate to how they were affected. I'm just saying I choose because I have the right to either do it or not. That's what the report button is for. You're not forced or obligated in any way, shape, or form to report anyone, you know. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not going to judge somebody just because I wouldn't do it. I'm not thinking any less about someone else simply because whatever their reasons are for doing it, that's their personal reasons for reporting, and I'm not going to judge them. And I'm going to look at the person who got reported for whatever when whatever consequences take place. Hey, shit happens. You shouldn't have done it. You know, you should have saw that coming. You shouldn't have been that person that doxed somebody on YouTube. You shouldn't have been that person that showed up to their house. You shouldn't have done these things because you got what's coming to you. You know, I'm not going to shed a tear 1 second for him, and I'm not going to judge the person that reported him. Is my
So
point.
have I convinced
I
you, Claire,
agree.
just to have all these channels deleted? Have I convinced you?
I mean, do what you want.
We're not
Okay,
there yet.
Go.
We're
Yeah,
not,
that's
not
what
fully
I'm saying.
convinced of
Go
that.
for it. I'm proud of you. If it
Knock
helps you
yourself out.
get
well,
and fulfill the need that you need filled, go for it. Yeah, do it.
yeah. I
But
mean, I
I'm
think
not going to do it.
Well,
I
he
think
made a good point before when he said that even if you do report it, we're not the judge and jury and executioner on this. You report
Right.
it, you give it to YouTube. If they deem it term of service violation, then they get, you know, canned or whatever.
But
It's
what
not
if
you doing that. Why not
what?
report it? If it's that egregious of an activity or a thing, I have no problem with someone
Dude,
reporting.
and how long do you think Molly's been getting reported? How
Oh,
long
for
do you
sure.
think that Bullhorn Betty's been getting reported? You know
Well,
what I
if
mean?
they were up
Shit,
to
I
you,
know
they were
I've
just
been
making
reported.
clip channels and doing content and ragging on them the whole time and not reporting them. So how do we know they might not have been reported the whole time?
I'm not
No,
going to say anything, but
You know,
that's just
I'm
not
kind of using that
realistic.
as an example though. But if it was up to Glare, he wouldn't report no one. So if everyone thought like Glare, then no one's getting reported. I'm not saying she
I
hasn't
wouldn't
been
either,
reported.
though.
Yeah, Jones and either. So if they were like these, he still report either. So we
oh,
know that as free
I could say
creators, they don't report.
I
So I
can.
mean, come on, dude. No one
If I
reports.
no, don't speak for me. If I see something, I
No,
report it.
I'm going to
Absolutely.
talk about you and try to convince people what a trash human being you are. And that's about as far as it's going to go for me.
BChem is reporting everyone, even kids' channels. He's
I
just
mean,
out
no,
here talking about
absolutely
it.
not. No, I feel like if you're dox someone, like I didn't like, well, for instance, you for Claire, for instance, when that piece of shit JLR like doxed your like history, I was very fucking pissed off because I don't like that shit. I don't like people doing that type of, and I reported him. I was like, yo, this is fucked
Yeah,
up.
he
You need to be
did.
reported.
Hmm.
I was like,
But I
yeah,
didn't.
well, that show you did accept the Pepsi from the cartel.
Whatever. But you did report it and I didn't. And we're on
Yeah,
the same team. So
I report people who dox people 100%. You dox someone, I don't care if I'm
Yeah.
enemies. If someone came up and let's say dox perplexes kids, I will absolutely 100% fucking report you for that. I have a standard.
So,
You don't dox people. You don't go for their kids. You don't do all that shit. I will 100%. So I do. I absolutely do. Let that be
so
known
that
on
must
YouTube.
have happened while I was gone. He doxed the glare.
Yeah, he was a real
yeah,
piece of shit. He was
Oh
a
my
real
right
piece
Yeah.
of
after
shit.
you
Yeah, he
and
doxed a family
Jenny.
member of mine. I mean, I've been doxed before, but he doxed a family member of mine, and that was really fucked up.
That
But
is. I'm still
but
getting emails from him, but keep trying,
but
Betty.
I
You're not there
but
yet.
I didn't report him. What I did was I went live. I put my mug shot up on my thumbnail. I fucking addressed it, and I
Right.
can
I
see.
see.
And what I did was I simply focused on the very content that made him so mad as to try to dox me, just to show him I'm not backing down. You cannot intimidate me by going real life. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But I don't think
I'm
it would have been wrong to
a piece of
have
shit. You are.
reported him in that
It would
instance,
not have
though.
been. It would not have
No.
been wrong. I just choose not to do that. The route that I chose to go was to respond in the way that I chose to respond. Period.
Why did you respond that way? If you don't mind
Because
me asking.
it's in my nature to respond in that way.
It
Now,
wasn't just to have a little bit more content on YouTube. I'm not trying to be mean or anything.
I mean,
I'm sure that
well, I
came
mean,
into the
Well, why
equation.
not?
Oh
well,
yeah,
I
I'm just
mean,
I'm just being.
everything we put on YouTube is for content.
Hmm.
All of us do. I
But do
don't
you
know
think?
what.
I'm just asking. Do
I
you think
mean,
that went into your choice of reporting or not reporting by saying, "Hey, I could get a little bit of contact," and I'm
Not
I'm
even
not
a
like
little
that
bit.
anyways. You know
Not
what
even a
you're
little
saying.
bit. I mean, if I was thinking about content, I was thinking about how the content is going to make him more mad. And now he
Hmm.
used up his ace in the hole. His big play was to dox me. Now what, dude? Now what do you got? Because I'm going to keep coming at you. So that was what was on my mind.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. Oh, I'm just doing it for content. It did go into cross your mind a little percentage of that. You're like, oh, this is actually pretty good. I could give him more grief now and prove my point a little more and stick it to him, but not reporting them for doing that. I mean, that's a little different too because it was a family member. I mean, I could see if they doxed my number or my name, that'd be different. If they dox a family member, I might be a little more
Yeah.
inclined to, you know, take it a little step further.
And I just want to say,
No.
Captain Obvious, your opinion is important to me because I appreciate all opinions. I truly do. I
I
like
do too. Yeah.
reading different opinions and constructive criticism. It does not bug me, and
yeah,
I do want to
absolutely.
hear everyone's opinions.
I even like the bad opinions. I like people who just disagree with me entirely. I enjoy those
I
too. It's like
mean,
yeah, it's fun.
Hmm.
yeah,
You
I
there's
just
like
choose
probably
not
seeing
people
the
in the
other
chat
side.
thinking I'm a piece of shit because I don't snitch, but I mean, it is
She's
what it
not
Yeah,
is.
well,
though.
you got that you got that Pepsi from that cartel member. You didn't. That was your payoff not to snitch on the cartel that lives near you.
That's my homie,
What's
my
up,
homie.
Goosey? Goosey or Goosey's.
Hey,
Yeah, Goosey,
Goosey.
are you there? Oh, she's muted.
My internet keeps kind of dropping out here and there. I apologize.
Hmm.
So
No problem.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
Don't worry, we were just talking about you. We were saying some terrible things while you were dropping off.
Are you
that's
there,
fine.
Audacity
Goosey?
said Glare pulled the Eminem 8 Mile move, threw all that shit out there.
I yeah, you did that whole piece of what was that from the lab where he threw out a blue gumball on his ball
Oh, let's not. Let's not.
into his
Let's not.
foreskin.
No, B Tim, let's not. Let's not
I
go
I
into that.
I didn't hear that story, nor do I want to.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
Lucy,
disgusting.
are you there?
oh,
I
it's
am.
bad.
I'm here.
Okay, good.
No,
I just
How
sir.
you doing, babe?
I just wanted to say, and basically what I was saying, and it's hard whenever you have a limit on how much you can say, but I think that everybody has, and it's difficult because I'm not saying what your level of acceptable should be. I know what mine is, and I think that everybody's is based on things that we were having this discussion a couple days ago. I think everybody's level of what is acceptable or okay is different based on their experiences and the people that they surround themselves with,
I
um,
agree.
what their morals are, what they were, and by that I mean how they grew up, like what their morals were, what they were taught is good and what is wrong. So to set like a standard for how people should behave is truly impossible. I mean, I just don't know where you would be able to pull something like that, because what's okay for one person is not okay for others. But we were talking about your job, right? And we're like, well, I would just
Yeah.
mind my own business if it was someone stealing from the company, which I could understand that position. I did wonder if it would change if it was someone stealing from like another coworker, but regardless,
Absolutely, yes.
It would.
yeah, like
Yeah.
regardless, it's
But I
like,
would tell
so
that coworker. I
right.
wouldn't
Wait,
tell the boss.
okay, so, and that's what I mean. So like it really, it varies and it depends. It's the same behavior, it just depends on who they're doing it to, right? And I think that
Hmm.
that can really apply to much of everything that we're talking about. Just like earlier when someone said, well, what if someone was doing the same exact thing to someone that you don't like? Would it be okay? Would it be funny? Would you be as enraged? And most of the time, and not saying that anything about anybody that would say yes, but like most of the time the answer is yes. Like uh, it's different when it's not happening to you, right? Or somebody
Right.
that you like. So I just think
Lindsay,
that
I
it's a,
agree 100% because I feel that's what happened here with Mallory and Molly. Like Mallory was very accepting of Molly's behavior until it happened to her.
Exactly. Am I crazy, or wasn't she sitting there doing an interview in front of that bed, in the
Absolutely, she
Yep.
background,
was.
just like everybody else? Like what she knew what she was getting into. She knows the behavior that these people have engaged in. She wanted to be a part of it. She wanted to be
She used to
accepted in it.
criticize it, just like, clip
But
channels or like how Big Blair does. She
but
absolutely
how
used to do it
but
that way.
how is empathy usually learned when it happens to you, and maybe that will be the changing moment to that person's when it happened to them, when they realize speculation and
Love you,
baseless
Brandy.
rumors have basically come onto her and she doesn't like that anymore when
oh,
that when
absolutely. But are you doing anything solution based to make it any different or better? Or are you just putting yourself in a position where you're going and you're basically doing one thing that you despise from somebody else because you think it's immoral and terrible, right? And then you're doing it to prove a point, but then you're still doing it. The behavior continues.
Hmm.
So it's
well
really hard, and
It's a
yeah,
fine line. Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I
we have to
agree one
wait.
hundred
You have
percent.
to wait and see if the person does shitty content. I'm sure the Claire's probably going to make a video on them, on Mallory, on the shitty behavior. I'm sure that's going to happen. I'm sure we're going to make a video about it. I'm sure Jones is going to clip and DeetS is going to clip. You got to wait and see. I think you just got to wait and see. I'm not a Mallory fan. I'm kind of the type of person that judges you based on your actions, and you got to wait and see. I don't just say, "Well, pretty words win me over." But yeah, I just will wait and see. I tell people, think for yourselves. If you like Mallory, you like her. If you don't, you don't. But think for yourself. Don't take some content creator's opinion on someone
oh,
as
absolutely.
just be like, "Hey, I don't like her based on her past." Then that's basically it. You made your decision at that point. But all I can do is present to you the facts. You can look at the facts. I tell you the facts, and you present, and I can tell you my opinion. But then you got to decide on yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, but look at where'd it go? Kim Watts. If we don't do anything, we become a part of the problem. I don't feel like by me not reporting, I don't feel like I'm doing nothing. I
I
feel like I still spread awareness
Right.
for whoever else may want to go and report. That's up to you and your
True.
personal decision. But I feel like awareness is what I strive for.
Right.
I think that's what the Glare strives for. I think that's what BTM and DeetS and everybody. I think that's
Yeah.
the goal.
Well, I'm the reporter here. I report.
I I think holding a mirror up to the behavior and being hopeful that it's seen and
Yes.
adjusted is what a lot of us strive for, but I don't know if that's enough. I mean, what happened with Molly yesterday was warranted, it was needed, and that took a collective group of people reporting that for it to happen.
can I be honest? I don't even know like when you all say about what happened with so and so and so. Like I literally don't know. I pop in every once in a while. Like I like to talk to everybody. I like to hear
Yes.
everybody's opinion. But as far as like what's going on with who, I don't. I pay no attention to that. Now, does that make me part of the problem?
No, I don't think it
No,
does.
I don't
I
So
think
think
it
I'm
that
does
sitting
it's
either.
here.
yeah.
I'm sitting here listening to you guys saying all this stuff. So now, if I don't go and now that I've heard it and been made aware of it, right? If I
Right.
don't go and I don't do my due diligence and go look and see if what you all are saying is true, and then make a decision about what I'm going to do, am I part of the problem because I'm not looking into what you're saying?
Well, that you would be if you did not, proof what we're saying, look it up, make sure that it's truth, then and then just carried it out into the atmosphere, out onto social media that, oh, this is what was said, and you
Yeah.
have no proof of it, then yes, you would be.
Yeah.
Because you
I
need
agree
to
with that.
verify it, absolutely.
Now, I
But
agree with that. But if the only part of this conversation that I walk away with and I carry forward to others is what we're talking about in the sense of being a general good human being, like, and what kind of standards we're holding ourselves to, like, we're not putting any names to this stuff, right? But the stuff that I've
right.
said to you guys, we're applying to everybody.
Right.
And I just think, I know, I'll just put it this way. This is when I wake up every day, I worry about what type of person I'm going to be, right? Because I have a now 5-year-old that stays at the house with me, and I have a full-time job,
Mhm.
and I'm busy all day, and then I do this other crazy shit on the side. And so, like, it's a lot. And in order for me to treat my son, and then extending outside of my house, other people with any kind of decency whatsoever, it goes by having a set of standards that I'm holding myself to. And as long as so if I know what those are and I'm meeting those every day, right? Then if somebody has an issue, but I know that I'm meeting the standards that I've set for myself, I think I'm doing pretty okay. Getting involved in like what other people are doing, it can spiral me out of control. And to be honest, what really sucks
Well
me into
put.
it,
Good point.
we brought up Critical K. And Critical K, I had no idea who she was, right?
I
Until
just
she
want to
appeared on my
interject and say
Twitter.
I don't really know. I mean, I've heard of her, but I personally don't really know who
Yeah,
she
Same.
she's
is.
been
So.
sued. I think for like a million something dollars or something. I
She
don't know.
released some like really private information,
Yeah,
right? Like photos, like autopsy
yeah,
photos or something. That's all
yeah.
I know about.
I mean,
What?
I'm playing.
even when she appeared, I didn't know who she was. I had several people from YouTube send me DMs on Twitter, and they were like, "Hey, just so you know, yada yada yada." And I really didn't look into it, but she kept going and going, and I fairly quickly realized that what she was doing was trying to build up her new channel, right? To continue the same behaviors that she was doing, but it was just, how do I get a lot of attention really quickly? I'm going to go and I'm going to, anyway, regardless. The reason that I bring her up is because you guys were talking earlier about having people leave the platform, right?
Mhm.
But while I agree that it stops that behavior, on this platform, they still go to other platforms. So
Right.
what is my real issue with
Well,
that, right?
why take out the trash? Why make it be bad? You got to keep on going at it. You got to keep on going after these people. If they keep on, and you have to also, unfortunately, YouTube allows them to have incentives with money. So you just got to keep at it. You got to tell YouTube, stop taking your 40% or whatever your percent from your blood money from these people, and basically keep at it. If we just unfortunately, it sounds like nihilism a little bit. What you're saying, it's like I have to. You have to be. You have to just have to try. You got to keep on doing the right thing, even if it seems hopeless, and you got to keep on at it. And that's how I feel. I mean, I just have this thought process that if we do nothing, it just gets worse. If we do something, at least it slows it down, or at least it makes it harder for these pieces of shit to make money from these families. At the very least, if we can give a little bit of support to these families, a little bit of shielding to these families, then I think it's worth it. Just like Brandy Neal, that piece of shit, Harsh Reality, was like dogging on that poor woman. That guy should be banned too. He's on my list too. That guy's a piece of shit. Absolutely.
Who?
Harsh reality, not harsh reality.
Yeah, that guy's a
But
douche.
but my point is like it's the behaviors that you have a problem with. So regardless of what platform they're doing, let's say they're not doing it on any platform, it's still bad if they're doing that in real life, right? People that, I mean, I can't even imagine, but some of them I do.
Absolutely.
Some of them I'm for sure they treat their family members this way inside their houses, but that's not for me to really get into. But
Well, I think that's why a lot of us are so upset is because they do take this real life. They do affect, these real families, victims, and their neighbors, and
Right.
but I mean, like, so if I'm gonna use the same example from before, I after a certain point and after so many years of being a particular kind of way all day on a platform, whatever one you choose to use, I can't imagine that wouldn't then carry over into your home life. And by that, I mean the other family members that surround you in your home, which circles right back to what I said about whatever I involve myself in all day is going to affect the people that live in my house.
Well, look at Molly's house. You know, like now, not only like I don't know the whole story with the nephew thing, but I just saw video footage of that guy's face, like, and now he's the topic of this drama between Molly and Princess, and
Yeah.
you know, so like Molly's entire real life world and anyone in it is affected by her antics and shenanigans. You know what I mean? So in her mind, you know, since her real life is all out there, then why shouldn't anybody else's? You know, there's no
she's the one doing it to herself.
Yeah, that's her doing it to herself. Most people accept that. Like,
I agree with you. I'm just trying to explain at least. I'm thinking out loud and trying to speculate out loud as to what Molly's justification for doing it to other people is.
Molly does it because she's a piece of shit bully that wants to basically bully people.
I know that. I know that. I'm saying, what does Molly think? You know what I mean? What's Molly's justification?
There could be many things. I mean, some people think it's like just the internet. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to be hateful and awful to people when you don't have to look at them in their faces. So a lot of people just think, okay, well, it's just the internet. Also, a lot of people are not capable of playing the tape all the way through when it comes to just talking. So like you were saying earlier, if I just take what you all are saying and I go and I just start repeating everything, not really knowing what I'm talking about whoever, I'm able to figure out what the real life implications are going to be, not only for that person, but also for me. Like, my main thing with all of this is just what it's going to do to me. And that's probably selfish, but that's just the way that it is. This stuff, it like permeates.
I agree.
I don't think like that.
I am selfish in that way.
I don't think like that. I mean, like, I'll give you an example. I was on a bus, an MTA bus, and I saw this young girl being harassed by this guy, African-American guy. He was crazy. And I saw everyone else just fucking sitting around watching. And I had to go up there and I had to like confront this guy while a bunch of men were watching.
Yeah.
And I let that guy backed off because I was a little bit fucking crazier than him. And that woman was able to walk out that bus without being harassed. And then afterwards, he says, well, one of those came up. You did the right thing, man. You did the right thing. Well, why weren't you not backing me up against that? And that's how I feel. I feel like if you see something, you got to do something. I don't believe in this whole, oh, well, we can't. We got to be like, watch out for ourselves. I don't. I think that's how this whole freaking world has become a shit show.
That's in a real life situation, and that's a one-time opportunity for you to help someone that needs you. You wouldn't then go follow that man around and keep on like digging into his life and like, you know what I mean?
I get that.
You should absolutely step up in a moment where someone needs some help. You absolutely should, especially if you're seeing it with your own eyes. But it's different when you're talking about these people and these personas that are, you know, and have they stopped ever? I'm just curious. I don't really know. Like,
have they stopped too?
No. I don't think so.
You know, like, I get wanting to get it out, and I think y'all should talk about it for sure. I think that people having a place to vent about people's behavior is one thing, but I'm thinking of like the solution. Like, is there a solution?
Yes. Keep on make it so hard for them to make money that eventually they leave, and then basically make YouTube eventually notice these pieces of shit and eventually get them off this platform. So they can't.
Piece of shit and then another.
Well, you know what? That's the way
anybody's going anywhere though.
Well,
honestly.
you know what? That's the way of the world. There's always going to be a new piece of shit that's going to try to make money from tragedies, and you just got to keep on doing the good fight. You can all just sit, because if we just like lie down to nihilism and say, well, there's no point in anything because eventually it's going to go bad. Eventually I'm going to grow old. Eventually I'm going to die. Why make my bed? Why take out the trash? I mean, like, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, it's either to protect the families, report the misinformation, stop the spread of rumors, and actually do the hard work. Then you got to do it. And even to think, I mean, I watch this freaking piece of shit drunken turkey spreading weird fucking conspiracy theories. It's a little bit disconcerting that I see him jump to 37,000 fucking subs. it definitely pisses me off. And then I go to Skeptic and I see this guy who's 100 times smarter, 100
Oh, he's
times
so
smarter.
Oh yeah,
intelligent.
And,
he's great.
and
But
he's got 3,000 subs and there's like 60 people watching if he's lucky. It's real.
Yeah.
And I see Drunk Turkey with 2,000. Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah.
just it's definitely like a little sad. But unfortunately, you just got to keep at it. I mean, maybe eventually some people will wake up, and that's what you got to do.
I just wanted
Well,
to say thank you real quick to Legendary CEO, but you guys do not have to super chat me. I thank you. I appreciate it. I won't steal your gift of giving from you, but you guys do not have to super chat me. Carry on, guys. I just want to make sure I thanked him.
You're so cute.
Yeah, stop it. I agree with what Sleuthy is saying because what if there's no change in the behavior, it's just going to carry on to another platform, to continue on in real life, etc. So,
I also
is there
wonder.
anything we can do at
I
all,
also wonder
really?
if confronting it, not confronting it. I don't mean to say that, but I wonder if like drawing even more attention to it also doesn't help
Oh
get
my
them
God,
more money.
that's something I have to, and I know DeetS probably does too. I have to question myself before I even attack something because it's like, okay, I almost got
Oh,
wrapped up
yeah.
in the Molly and
Mhm.
Mallory drama. I clipped the first thing each of them said, and that was because they were bitching about missing out on a tragedy pimping situation. It was like, are you fucking kidding me? But then when they started going personal, that's when it's like, okay, do I want to, is that gonna do
Yeah.
anything?
Well, then it
It's
gets to
right.
the
just gonna
point where
bring
they
them more
provoke you
views.
on purpose. They'll provoke you on purpose. It's exactly what was happening to
Absolutely.
me.
So I
Provoke you on
immediately
purpose.
I had a video I had put hours and hours in on. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I just came to this thought like, no, you're gonna this is gonna pull you more in the drama section than anything, and
Yeah.
also taking away from the victims and advocating and spreading awareness. It's gonna take that away and it's gonna give them more attention because they're fucking thriving on it.
And I have the same thing. I probably have half a dozen videos in my queue that I've never even aired because
Mm,
it's like you spend a lot of time on those videos and then you're like, maybe it's a bad idea. And that's why
mhm,
sometimes I do try to make it funny, or sometimes I just don't even commentate over it and just to show you this is the behavior instead of
mhm.
me adding my own thoughts and opinions. That way others we lost Luthi, but maybe she'll pop back up. But
And it
sometimes
does
that's
bring
why I don't
awareness.
commentate on it. Yeah.
It does bring awareness, but look at their chats lately. Look at Perplexed's chat and look at even Queen's chat and Mallory's chat and Molly's before she got down. Molly went from having 400 to 1,600. Perplex, same thing. And it's because it's bringing attention to the drama.
I think that this was all part of Mallory's plan to begin with. I think that
You
her
do?
befriending MGL was this outcome was her conscious uh, goal. Um, and everyone fed right into it. She just manipulated the viewership on YouTube in the community. She just totally did it, and I think she did it fully consciously too.
Well,
Um,
yeah, because she's used
it's the
House of
drama
Williams usually
community.
only has 150 in her chat.
No, you're not going to generate views by being friends with a big creator. You generate views by being friends with a creator and then breaking things off with them and then having a fight with them in the drama community. That's how
Right.
you generate views. And that's what she did. She went over to Molly's house. She made buddies with her, blah, blah, blah. And she got played. Mallory played her. And everybody, and what happened mostly though, is the community got played on top of it. Like you
Mhm.
guys fed right into that shit. I'm not speaking to anybody
Hey, that's my
specifically.
girlfriend, easy.
I'm talking
No, I
about
did
those who
feed
did.
into it right
I'm
at the
talking to those
beginning.
who did.
I
Mm-hmm.
You
did.
know,
Right at
it's
the
just
beginning, I was like, Team Mal. And then it was just like, I don't know, the longer you sit on something, you know what I'm saying? Your ideas and thoughts change. And I don't know.
Oh,
I
I
hope
I
she's
just,
could
better than
I
people.
could
I
never
hope
have
she does
been
better.
team that.
Well,
Like
No,
DeetS
I was
mentioned that
Team Mal.
earlier.
I found myself screaming Team Mal in between the two, Mal and
you were
Molly.
picking a lesser of
I
the
was
two
picking
evils.
a fucking side. Why? I didn't
Mhm.
know, because they're both trash human beings.
Well, DeetS had
Right.
mentioned that earlier. She's like, at first, I'm sure a lot of people thought, is this just a like a thing between them to get views? Is it a ruse or
Right.
something?
No, no ruse here. No
No,
ruse.
No,
not a
no,
ruse.
it is, but it wasn't a ruse. I think it's a ruse on Mallory's part. I think everything is a ruse on Mallory's part. I don't think she's passionate about anything. I think MGL is the same way to a degree, but this is her life. This
Yeah.
is absolutely her life.
I
So
think
I do think that she gets emotionally affected by conversations and conflict that she gets with people. But overall, does she really care in the sense that, like, is she going to get into a deep depression over getting in a fight with Laura or Mallory or anybody else? No, of course not. She doesn't really give a fuck about anybody. What I'm saying is, she in the sense that she thought that she was in the upper hand. Mallory played that part. She thought she was befriending. She was using Mallory because she thought it was going to win her points to have this trans friend and have this image of, oh, look at my trans friend, and we're hitting the town together and we're doing all of this. And I'm sitting there watching this going, Jesus Christ, this is fucking
you
hilarious.
do. I
And
mean,
then
like, I
sure
mean,
enough, Mallory does it. Mallory knew that too, is my
I can
point.
see them both
yeah,
playing each other, and Mallory
yeah.
got
I
out
mean,
when she
And
did.
Mallory
Biggest
checkmated.
out of it.
That's
yeah.
all that happened.
I
That's
mean,
all that happened.
I think basically we're both using each other for either views or content or being subs. I think basically that was happening. I think what you're saying is
I
true,
agree.
that she probably did that. But I don't think, I think what really happened was that Mallory was really just like looking at heels in the ground, said, this is going to be a dead flat. Like, this is complete garbage. We can't sell our damn show idea. It's a waste of fucking time.
Video.
I need to
Call it
leave.
Trans Am.
I mean, Molly's going crazy. Betty is like off somewhere. She can't, whatever she's fucking doing. So
Bro,
she
when you
said, I'm
watch
gonna,
that thing, dude, that video is just the funniest shit I've
yeah,
ever seen in my life.
Well,
Like, because
Mallory's the
they're
one that
like,
did that video too.
yeah,
She's the
and
one
I
that
and I
edited
and
it's
I
like a parody, but they're for real. It's the
yeah.
funniest thing ever.
And then she said, you know what, I'm just do. I got what I wanted. I got subs. I got money. Whatever. I'm gonna part in good, somewhat neutral ways. I'm leaving the organization, but I'm gonna pretend to be so with them, like neutral. But I don't think that it was planned that she thought that like Molly would be on a rant-filled, like trans bashing rant for 4 days.
No,
I
I
mean,
don't think she predicted that.
I don't think anyone predicted that.
No
I
chance.
agree here
I
completely
think
with
Mallory
pecan
predicted it.
pie.
I think Mallory
You
absolutely
do?
planned it.
Do you think
Oh,
Totally.
she played
really?
for it?
I don't think
I
so.
wouldn't
I
go
don't
that.
think so.
I
I
think
think
she saw the opportunity and took advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, but I
Absolutely.
think I do think that Molly treated her like absolute shit
of course she
Mhm.
did.
Oh, she
on that
did.
trip.
She did.
I think Mallory expected her to.
Oh,
I
shit.
think
Wow.
she can't be. Nobody's that stupid. I mean,
That's
come on.
manipulative, though. You think she's that manipulative?
Of course I do.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Stop.
Yeah, I can
and
see
I
them
Where's
both
your
feel like
tip?
that's
using each
Where's
why
your
other.
I don't
tinfoil?
think
Mallory
she's
feels that
smart
way.
enough to be that manipulative, and I don't mean that
I
in a mean way.
I
I
think
don't
she
know her that
is.
way.
I think she absolutely is.
That's a tough one to plan, though, man.
All right. You know
It's
what?
just
I just
it's
real
just
quick,
my
I just
opinion.
wanted to
I
say
may
to
be wrong,
pecan pie
but
that
that's my opinion.
I completely agree. It is fun to watch these a-holes eat each other. I
Oh yeah,
just wish
I
that they
hope.
Oh, it's
wouldn't do it to
wonderful. It's
victims.
wonderful.
I
It's
wish they
great.
would not do it to victims.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Well,
my
let
only
them.
thing.
I
Chew
actually
each other
hope.
up, spit each other out. I don't give
I
a
hope.
Yes,
shit.
stay in the drama.
Right.
I hope that Mallory moves on to just making fun of just Molly and just making fun of these people, like Betty or whatnot, and just sticks to that. That's her new content. I hope her all the success making money from that, and
I
just
don't agree. I don't.
stay away from true crime. Don't talk about victims. You just talk shit about YouTubers and make fun of YouTubers. That's basically
Yeah,
When
it.
but how
Mallory,
much shit can she talk about the other tragedy pimps when she was right there along with them,
Right.
Mallory
Well,
said she
you
agreeing
was
know
with
a
what?
everything?
Hypocrisy. This. What is it? Life makes hypocrisies of us all.
This is good
Hypocrites of us
conversation.
all.
I know, I love
Or
it.
she can say, I had an epiphany, and now I don't believe
Yeah.
any of that stuff. I was wrong to do all
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
No,
It's
no.
just so funny, man. Like,
Let's
yeah, like
go.
As soon as Mallory, I was like, when's the fight gonna start? There's
Where?
people like there are people that if they decided to, that they could show you DMs between me and them that would prove that I was
There's no
like,
Capone.
wait till the fight happens.
They're all fighting with each other now.
Yeah, they just wait.
Uh,
This
Claire,
is all this is.
tell the truth. Tell the truth. You're gonna have Mallory as your co-host on your show. Tell the truth.
Oh, you
Pecan
would welcome
pie, I
her
agree with
up.
that.
You
Hey,
would welcome her
Pecan
up.
Pie said if they're working
Yeah,
each other, then they're not tragedy pimping anybody else at the time. So
right.
that is
Yeah.
right. That is true.
It's just
Yeah.
like the what was it, the Logan Paul crypto scam where he was trying to scam his audience, but he got scammed by the people he was partnered with doing the scam. So it was like a scammer scamming a scammer scamming a scammer. So I mean, it's kind of interesting to
Look,
see stuff like that.
Lorelai said, I do like to watch the train wrecks. I'd be grateful I'm not a scumbag like them. I agree. Skep talks about that all the time, how it's almost impossible for humans to disregard the train wreck happening in front of them. Everybody wants to look.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing with the drama community is that's the product. It's what they want, and they delivered it. You know, MGL is always going to get what is MGL's MO? She takes on she's a drama channel, no doubt about it, right? But then she tries to call herself a true crime channel. And she'll involve herself in a case, and then what she does is blends the drama into it, creates drama from it, uses it as a basis to make drama for her drama content.
I agree. Yeah.
This heels on the ground thing was no different. That's exactly what it was for her. Now, for Bullhorn Betty, it was not.
No, it's delusion on her part. She's in a warped reality.
Bullhorn
Wait,
Betty is too insecure to be a solo artist, and she's always trying to latch on to somebody else. She's always talking about a team. Even when there is no team, there's a team.
Yep.
As far as
Yep.
Bullhorn Betty is concerned,
In
right?
her head. In her
In
fucking
her
head.
head, exactly.
hang on 1 second, guys. I just want to address Jacqueline. Like, we are not bashing her at all. Uh, are we talking about her behaviors and how we feel that they are wrong, or discussing situations? Absolutely. But if you can give me an example of how we have bashed her,
Right.
Well,
I would
Please.
like to talk about that. 'Cause
Jacqueline is part
I
of the
wanted to.
Howies.
Well,
And when House of Williams came over to Queens, a lot of Howies did too. And I
yeah,
think
and
it's unreal to expect that everybody's
yeah.
just gonna ignore it and act like it didn't happen and be like, "Go, Mallory, go." That's
I just want her to do better
Right.
because if she's
well, of
doing
I
better,
course.
she's not hurting people, right?
Right. And we all do. We all want that.
Yeah.
And in
Absolutely.
regards to Molly, the only true crime is Molly saying her channel's true crime about that channel. That's true crime.
That's the only true crime.
That's
Right.
oh my god, I get it
That's
now.
what
I
I
got
was.
the joke.
That's what I was saying was. Oh shit! My internet went out. I don't think you guys can hear me right now.
We can hear you. Everything
Oh,
you're saying right now.
Thank
okay,
you,
cool.
Misfit. That's what it is.
Well, what I'm saying is MGL's that I knew this whole heels on the ground. I mean, you can go back to my videos when they first started this. I was like, this is going to implode. There's too many egos and there's too many people in this for their own reasons. Nobody's in this to help victims. Nobody involved, right? And MGL now. Bullhorn Betty believes that she wants to help victims. She actually, if you put her on a lie detector, I believe she'd pass. But
So did the Green River Killer.
Right, exactly, right.
True.
Not to imply that she's innocent in any way, shape, or form. No, I'm just saying that Molly is smart in the way that she handles her drama channel. Mallory sees that. You could tell in the content she would talk about MGL before the whole heels on the ground thing. You could tell that Mallory was aware of how she runs her channel. Mallory, it is not crazy or even far-fetched to think that Mallory saw this behavior because that's MGL's MO. She does this with a bunch of other creators. She will befriend them and then they're best buddies, and then the next thing you know, they end up in a fight, and then people are just dropping super chat after super chat while one drags the other. This is not a first. This is not even a second or third or fourth time that MGL has had this type of interaction with someone.
No,
And
that's MGL's
Mallory,
life. Literally, is a rotating circle of people.
I believe Mallory saw a way to benefit from that, and played that, used it for her own benefit, and now here we are.
It makes sense to me.
Well, there's going to be a segment of people that are going to believe exactly what you said because they're going to look at last behavior. But I'm just saying that we got to wait until the future. And if she does it, then then people got played, and you were right. And if she doesn't, then you're wrong. That's how it is. I'm just waiting.
And I agree completely, B Tim, that if there is a change in behavior and in the future it progresses, like who are we not to forgive? We're called as people to forgive and give second chances. That doesn't mean that we have to, just be like, like we don't have to be like that.
I think everyone on
we
YouTube
can keep our distance at arm's length.
Yeah, I'm hoping that. I mean, like, this is my hope. This is my one thing is that Mallory realizes, get the fuck off, get out of the true crime stuff. Just make your jokes, make fun of people online, do that. People get mad at you, I'm sure.
The problem is she's going for hot topics. So if it's a national case, she can't say she's not going to go after.
Well, then everyone has the right to criticize that and basically and do that. And I have nothing against anyone doing that. And people will see, people will judge. I have no problems with that.
And Ninny, I agree. You personally have given her many chances, and I understand why she doesn't, why you give her no more. And I get that. Time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blair, you were saying her channel. Yeah, she did it smart for a what, right? But then in the last month or month and a half, she's burned her channel to the ground. Literally lit the match, threw it into the house, and watched it burn.
Who are we talking about?
MGL.
Oh, see, I don't think we're there yet. Hence my post about celebrating too early. I don't think we're even close.
Yeah, no, I don't think she's going anywhere. I think, if anything, this was a little bit of a knockoff of her pedestal, but I don't think she's going anywhere.
Well, from where she was,
it's what it is more content for her.
Yeah,
watch. She's gonna come back and then she's gonna rant and rave, and then she's gonna rake in the cash. Watch.
Yeah, she's gonna be. I'm the victim here. I can't believe they did this to me.
Yeah. People like this, and that's another thing. This is another reason why I personally won't report channels or strike them, because then that can be used as, like you just said, playing a victim, right? And then they're going to use that to grift. They're going to say, "Oh my God, they're trying to attack me. They're trying to shut me down. They're trying to silence me. And all of you who follow me so faithfully, blah 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 blah." And then they're like, "Yes, Molly. Yes, Molly. $10, $50, blah blah blah. Go, girl."
It's hard to come back though from all that. Trans bashing. It's very hard to come back from that.
Yeah. Is your goal of your channel, Clara, is to just basically try to convert people who are following these people to stop following them based upon the arguments you're presenting in your videos?
My goal is to entertain mostly, and create awareness, sure. But whatever you choose to do is your business, I mean.
So the entertainment's like the sugar.
All I do is point out facts. I don't spread rumors about people. I go over their own content, and I say, "Don't you see? Look, it's right there."
So you use the entertainment as like the sugar to basically make the medicine go down, just like the Mary Poppins would sing.
I wouldn't necessarily say that that's my conscious motive, but if that happens, so be it.
Oh, okay.
So I put this up here because I wanted not that I necessarily agree with it or don't disagree with it, but I want to address it. I am also struggling with Justin just standing by, and even that that Gina standing by and allowing that trans bashing to happen. That blows my mind.
Well,
I don't
Dustin
even
says
know how
he's
to
not a
fully
part of.
feel about that. Yeah.
He says he's not a part of the community, so
Oh,
that's his
Did he
issue.
really say that?
Yes,
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
I
he doesn't belong to a community in
Yeah,
the
I'm
sense of
seeing the
LGBT.
comments. Laura's like a barnacle. Like
Couldn't agree with you more.
she's like a barnacle. She's nothing. She just latches on whatever she can for a minute and takes a few breaths and then drowns again.
What a great
I
analogy for her.
I
Thank
only
She's
that is
brutal. She's just brutal
I,
in every way.
I only ever watch her anymore when Queen plays clips of her because you remember when she had that live stream where she called out I don't know remember if it was Chronicles of the Shady or Tragedy Pimps, but it
She
was one
called
of them.
me out.
And well, she went my point on this one though is she went in on clip channels really hard and it's like I've had a lot
Yeah.
of creators that you guys probably wouldn't even think of message and say, I'm appreciative of that, even if it goes against them, because it does help build their channel. So the way she reacted in that whole live, I was just completely turned off. And I was
Yeah,
like,
she
what did she say?
watches.
Flipping her.
Yeah,
What did
she
she say
watches.
about me not being able to have kids? I'm trying to remember exactly
I
because I
don't
only
know.
listened once.
She's just so stupid.
Yeah,
Yes, Stephen.
she like said one line I couldn't
Someone was talking
believe
about last
yesterday.
night.
One
She's
line
like, I
yeah, you
can't
go.
get mad about Laura. I just can't. Like, she's just too stupid, like, to not just like find funny. Like, she's like even MGL. Like, she's like a dog that sits on MGL's lap when MGL just kind of like, all right, I'll let you sit on my lap for a while, and then get off my lap, get out of here. You're breathing on me too hard. She doesn't even treat her with
I
respect.
hope
Like,
so,
it's
Calvin.
really funny. She's such a joke.
I
And
couldn't
don't get real
believe.
quick, before I forget. Don't get shit twisted. Laura is very happy that Molly's channel is down right now, and she hopes it goes down so she can pick up those subs. And get more money.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
She's the
but I
most
could.
contradicting person I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
I couldn't believe she said this one line. She like read the dictionary version of what transmassion is, and then she says, "Well, trans people actually do hate themselves,
Oh my
because
god!
they want to change." And I sat there, I was like, "What did you just say?"
Horrible.
Ignorance is like, like, I mean, if I was a trans person, I would
What?
get mad. Since I'm not, I look at it like, man, what a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? I'm just like, you're really stupid, and I hope that the trans people get so mad at you and come after you. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I find it funny, just because she's so dumb and she doesn't make any sense. She's not saying
So,
anything that's
do you
threatening.
think with Laura that most
Stupid.
have just kind of become like me and we're just like, there's no reason to bother with her anymore? Because I don't see a lot of stuff either way about her out there. So I
What's
don't know
crazy
how
about it is
others
she has
feel.
she has Gina in that chat. She's got Whistledown, who has a daughter, I believe, or a son.
Yeah, but
That
just
is,
Well,
it's
that's Whistledown's
yeah,
story
yeah,
with
I
her.
Whistledown.
don't want to
It's
talk about
disgusting.
that. I
Well, I'm
Yeah.
really
just saying
don't.
in general, she's saying that while those people are in her chat, there's ignorant things.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
had one of the people in the chat call
And
me
they
like,
stay there.
yeah, one of
Yeah.
the people in the chat called me like a pedo, basically. I don't agree. I don't like that shit. I have not done anything on this fucking platform
Yeah, that shit's not okay.
and
That's
then
not okay at all.
she's okay with these people saying that because some whack job basically said it once on a live stream because he couldn't articulate a fucking argument because he's too dumb. So the only thing he could do is throw shit at someone. The thing popped in his mind because he's a fucking idiot. But anyway, that's my
Yeah,
opinion.
Fuck her.
I just don't worry about things. I mean, you got JLR going, the glare beats women, and like I have an entire community that's like, okay, well, show me the proof, and what about him makes you think that, So like, I wasn't worried about that at all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't worry about the things that people say about me, and sometimes I'm entertained by them, by the level of how outrageous they are. But at the same time, I could see someone genuinely getting angry about these things being said about them because they're not true and people listen to it. You know what I mean? So you have a right to absolutely, like, I have every right to get mad at those lies being told about me for sure. But I also have a right to react to it the way that I see fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think the problem is when someone puts baseless rumors around, it grows because that's how it that's what happens, and
Yeah,
that's
because
usually
I mean, you got one creator stating something, and then the diehard subs go into other chats repeating that rumor. And it's a never ending cycle.
Like,
But
Community
always
needs.
just
They
attracts
need
more
to.
people doing it, though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've done a pretty good job of building an audience of quantity thinkers or quality thinkers versus quantity. I'm not worried about the quantity. I don't need all of that mass approval. You know what I mean? Like, I'm
Right.
just grateful that I can talk about what I talk about, and people judge me based on logic, you know, and based on my behavior. Again, if I behave a certain way, then sure, I'm subject to the criticism for it, you know. And if you behave a certain way, you're subject to the criticism. And as a matter of
Yes.
fact, if you put yourself on YouTube, you're subject to criticism. If you put yourself, you put your comments in a thread in a private group on Facebook, you're subject to criticism. You know, it's you put yourself out there for it. When you put yourself out into the universe, you're subject to whatever comes back at you. It might not always be right, but if you have common sense, you embrace the fact that it could happen to you if you make the choice of being a public person, you know?
Yeah.
So I just choose not to complain about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me.
No, I was just reading Cappy's comment. I must have missed the first part of what she said because
Uh,
she's addressing it to Hugh the Glare, says he has no idea what you have been through with your docs and people going real life on you. What he did wasn't shit.
I mean, no, I'm not trying to take away from how serious what he did was. I'm just merely expressing the fact that I reserve the right to deal with it however I choose
The way
to
you
deal
want
with
to.
it. Right. I'm the victim in that situation. So I have the right to handle it how I choose to handle it. That's all. But I'm not trying to minimize his behavior in any way, shape, or form. But I thought the most effective thing was, obviously he was so angry at the fact that I was merely exposing him for what he is through his own content.
Yeah.
That he chose to go that route. And that's the last line of defense. You know what I mean? Like, that, beyond that, that's playing dirty. That's you know, kicking someone in the nuts when they're not looking. You know what I mean? That's just fighting dirty. And
that
so
hurts so much.
the way that I chose to deal with that was just to do more of what made him so mad. Fuck him, you know?
Yeah. He couldn't defeat your argument, so he did a hominem attack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just all he did was prove my point that much more.
what
All
kind
he-
of attack?
And ad hominem.
Say it again.
You're just trying to trip me up because you know that word fucks me up sometimes when I say it.
Oh my
I already
God.
said it 3 times.
I agree with
Blair, how
Pecan.
did you feel when Ryan came up in your panel that time and basically acted like a freaking idiot? I know you were prepared for it because you didn't know he was jumping up. But how did you feel that went?
The
Are you
Ryan
talking to
up
me?
church shit.
Yeah, church.
Yeah, we all talked to Ryan.
Sorry, could you repeat that? I'm sorry.
You don't remember when you jumped up on your panel that one time?
I do remember.
How'd you feel that went? Because I watched it. I was like,
I thought he behaved in a way that, I mean, I was disappointed because I was hoping that he wouldn't behave like an absolute child, but I expected him to behave exactly how he behaved. I was disappointed because I had hoped for better, you know, coming from somebody with such a large platform. You know, I wanted to show him respect because he actually, out of all the people that I review, he was the only one that actually had the guts to come up and talk to me. But he didn't. He just acted like a child, deflected every question.
Yeah.
Dolly's talked to you too.
Yeah, Dolly's talked. Did you get the soap from Dolly, by the way?
Well, Dolly, yeah, sorry about that. And I did. Dolly did let me on his panel one time, and We know how
I
that
did a
went.
shoey on this panel one time, like 8 months ago.
Oh, that channel's dying too.
Yeah, it's good. He should be banned too, Dolly.
Right,
I'm
Captain
actually-
Natman. I get you, Captain Natman. Thank you.
I dislike Dolly. He's a real horrible person when he does like
You know
all the
what Dolly has going for him?
his personality, because he kind of like, because I've heard that from people.
He's a
Like,
great set of hair.
No, he's got paper cut Tina. She
That's true.
cracks me up every
I feel
time. And
bad.
she like genuinely loves true crime. I
But she
feel.
is
So,
a perfect
I
example
love it.
of
He genuinely loves Dolly.
yeah, but it's a perfect example of what I say, that there's a lot of lonely people that come to these personalities, and this is a woman,
Absolutely.
and she is alone, and she has no one in social life, and she like real life social life, and she forms this bond with the group of people following Dolly, and it
Yeah.
becomes a connection. And he teaches them horrible ideas about how to do true crime. Like like the JJ Florida thing. Like they were up there with like fucking Dolly and Betty and them all, and they were like speculating the mother must have did it. We gotta look into the mother, and it's like and then the kid gets found the next day. Like
They rarely talk about true crime anymore, though, Tim. They always talk about their ailments now. He's got a whole panel full of geriatric women, and it's weird as fuck.
The panel,
Joe, remember that?
I know the name Paper Cut Tina, but I don't know enough about her to say that she's funny or anything.
Yeah,
She's
but
just innocent, and she's just being.
Saw her as part of that panel. I saw her as part of that panel, and that panel was I couldn't take it seriously in any way, shape, or form. Like it was just really funny. I was just like, "What's Dolly doing? Is he trying something new here? Like, did he just let anybody on his panel and say this is who I'm sticking to for my panel?"
Was it recently?
I
one you watched? I don't know.
I reviewed it one time, and I think it was maybe a couple of months ago, maybe a month or two ago.
The shit show one. I remember.
Oh
that.
yeah, that
Okay,
was interesting.
Yeah.
But I was just like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Do you remember that thing, that graph you brought up? What was it, like 3 weeks ago, I want to say? And it was about the age group and whatnot, and mostly women that donate 40 to 55, and that are, lonely and whatnot, and they don't have the money to do it. That's who he prays off of, just like MGL as well. That's just facts. That's why he's surrounded by, older women and whatnot. And he knows that he's going to get over on them, and it's just facts. I mean,
it's like those scammers who call old people on the phone and they're like, "Hey, you owe this, and this. I need your credit card number. Give it to me."
That's what BHB does, basically. She's a bunch of people that are just, that YouTube has become their lives, and they're just all of a sudden convinced that she is doing God's work, and they're mesmerized by the word salad, and that she's actually traveling and showing up someplace, but they're not paying attention to how that her actions can actually affect a real case and justice. They're not even paying attention to that. So they throw money at her and support her because they're like, she's out there, she's doing it. Same thing with JLR.
Nor do they care, in my opinion.
It's like, what?
What's that called again, Tim? What's that called again? The relationship between the creator
parasocial relationship.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
That was an interesting clip that you played, Jones, in that night. That was like, I was like, whoa, that's.
Yeah, the demographics are very telling.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's everybody here. I mean, my demographic is like, I think like 85% women between 35 and 50 or something.
Is that why you wear the short sleeve T-shirt?
No, I wear my short sleeve T-shirts because I like wearing my short sleeve T-shirts.
Showing them muscles.
They're not from Baby Gap, though, right? You can answer that question, right?
When I get cold, I wear a jacket.
Oh shit! I'm thinking that I think there's there's some sort of motive. I think that's why you're wearing the short shirt.
The real question is, though, do you shop at the Gap?
No, I can't afford it. I've got this kick now with T-shirts. I found this T-shirt company, and I'm just buying new T-shirts constantly. Somebody take my fucking card, because, like, I'm just having an obsession.
Is it like rock T-shirts, graphic?
No, they're just like old pop culture shit. Like, I guess because I'm maybe going through a midlife thing. And I'm like, I'm
AC/DC shirts, stuff like that.
How old are you?
Well, like $6 million man stuff, and stuff I haven't
I heard the
really.
Glare is going
Yeah.
like six. He's like 60 or something, right? I heard that from
How old
someone.
are you?
I am 47.
Oh, okay.
Look like you've been working out a lot more.
Oh, you're old.
I know. I'm older.
I'm
than
just
mine.
kidding.
Jones is actually a 60-year-old
I'm the
woman.
baby. I'm the baby
She's
of
lying.
everybody.
I've seen the
I am.
pictures. She's 60.
Nah.
How old are you?
I am 34.
You are the baby.
38.
I am.
Isn't it time for your bedtime, Joneson?
Who's talking,
I'm
Danny?
I'm gonna jump down because we're going gambling tomorrow, guys. So wish me luck.
Is that at the
Thank you for
cartel?
having me.
What's up,
What are you
Johnson?
doing,
I like
poker?
your channel a lot.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Glara.
Joneson.
I like yours too.
Joneson has a great channel if someone wants to put it in the chat.
Yeah,
I'm like the
man.
worst live person ever.
Yeah,
Like,
No, you're
absolutely.
not.
there's
You're
so
doing
many
great.
there
No.
are so many
Yeah, I don't know who
people's
I'm on
channels
panel
I'd
with
love
only
to drop.
because I'm on my phone, so I can't really tell. But
They call me back.
my name.
I'm always
My
extra.
name. My name is Critical K. And
I can't
Uh-uh.
see you, but I bet you're prettier.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I
He's
keep my
anonymous.
identity. I keep my identity hidden. I don't let no one know.
Jim Terry
my
thinks your name's Steven. He called you Steven again.
Yeah,
the
he
other
had a
night.
bounty on my head to dox me. So yeah, I keep everything secret. No one knows who I am in real life.
All
That's
right,
how
I'll
it
catch
is.
y'all on the flip side. Thank
Real
you
quick,
for the
Jones, before you leave,
conversation.
what do you get?
Love,
Are you
Johnson.
playing blackjack tomorrow or something like that? Okay.
She gone. She
Yeah,
gone.
she
She
gone.
ain't gonna tell you what she's doing.
I got some tips if she's gonna play some blackjack.
Oh, I want to play some blackjack.
I mean, I work for a channel on the other side of YouTube. It's a sports betting and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
She's
I've been doing
back
it for
to
like
tell you.
4 years.
That was totally rude. I didn't realize you
Yeah,
were
that was very
asking me
rude,
that,
Jones. I don't
Austin.
appreciate that whatsoever.
Hey, my guy. Listen, what was you asking? I don't know. I'm not smart enough to play
You playing blackjack,
blackjack,
or you just
poker, none of that.
put it in the slot?
I'm hitting
Yeah,
the
I'm more of a
slots.
poker. I'm definitely more of a Texas Hold'em guy, but I like blackjack.
My husband's into the cards, but I'm not. I'm into the slots. So, and it's actually our first time going
Oh,
real
you like to live
gambling. So.
dangerously. Yeah, that's you like to lose.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm
gamble, so you're
excited. It's our
speaking Greek
first
to
time.
me.
I'm a big UFC MMA gambler. It's tomorrow.
I know you are.
We know.
And
Oh man, I'm so
Okay.
glad I don't follow sports because I would probably be a big sports gambler.
That's what Alec Murdaugh. I think he was into sports gambling. Look, y'all get me
You
stuck.
think? It's
Yeah, I do.
possible.
I think he was into something like
I
that.
think it went a lot deeper than what we know.
I think so, too.
Whatever he was into was deep.
he definitely
Mhm.
gambled, and he definitely big bets. You're talking about 10, 15, 20,000 a pop.
My son's kind of like you, Boston. He's into sports, and he dabbles a little bit in sports gambling, but I don't really know.
That's scary to me. I'll just stick to the slots. I mean, I don't
You
know.
got luck just winning the
But
slots,
check it out.
and you
Yeah,
got
because you're not owing anybody anything. The slots, you don't owe nobody nothing. Like you already lost your money. Like you're not going to get your legs broken over losing at the slots.
Yeah.
There's online books now where you don't.
Oh Christ!
You
Okay.
guys have a promo code if you want.
Thank y'all. Good night.
So headlines or headstones and headlines. If you're a math educator, then you probably don't recommend gambling, do you?
What was it?
The house always wins.
What game? Well, Vegas wins 90% of the time or more. That's why all those big buildings you see in Vegas and all that. That's off everybody's bankroll. That's off everybody's back right there. It's very hard to win in sports gambling.
Yeah, because there's all these variables. It's not like just like who's going to win. It's by how many points, by and are they going to win by this? Are they going to take this much of a lead by this quarter? Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
there's all
over under
stuff.
spreads and stuff like that. My main thing is actually I don't even bet anything other than MMA now.
Me too.
2 guys in a cage. I can pick one
go.
of them, and I can pick whether the fight goes a distance or not. My biggest bet is fight
You
not
decide.
going the distance.
But you bet on like how many rounds it's going to last, right?
Yeah, I usually take over under 2.5 or no distance in fights that I know are going to end.
I only like the only gambling I've done was options trading. I consider that gambling.
The shit is that?
You trade options on the stock market.
Stock
On
market
Sure,
whether
is
the
yeah.
stock, whether that like you predict if the price is going to hit a certain target, and then you hope that it hits a certain target and it goes above. Then you can sell the options, the contract to sell the,
Mhm.
to option to buy, but not the obligation to
It's
the
a big
buy.
gamble.
It definitely
Yeah,
is.
it could be a gamble. I mean, like
It
it's
can.
basically and you have and it as time goes by, it deteriorates in value of the contract. So usually you have to like um some people were really stupid and they would do like a week contract, which is almost a guarantee
Mhm.
of you losing your ass on that one. So probably you'd want to do like
Absolutely.
minimum a month or two, like a month, but that's going to cost you more for that contract. So you really got to hope that you know what you're doing when you're researching the company. But that's I just like you're better off just buying the stock if you just really believe the stock's going to go up. But you can make a lot of money. I remember one time I did an options contract. I made like $3,000 in like fucking 5 hours. I
Ooh, that's a
closed
nice
it.
Yeah.
little lick right there.
Yeah,
It's a
and
gamble, though.
it's a
I mean,
gamble.
unless you know what you're doing, like B10 states, like unless you know what you're
Yeah, I
doing.
got really, but there was one time I lost like money. I lost like five to maybe like $500, like just like that, and it sucked.
I got taken by one of those street hustlers once. Uh, I had like $90 in cash, and I was sure that I could like find where the ball was.
Wait, the guys with like the cups, the three cups,
Yeah,
and they had.
yeah. I
Oh
mean,
man, that's
I was
bad.
really young. I was really young, but I just didn't catch
Oof.
on to the hustle, and it was on South Beach, and they were just doing it, and I was watching the ball, and I was like, I got this, and
I'm
then
down here in
sure enough,
Fort Lauderdale.
yeah. And what happened was it was somebody else that distracted and took the ball. Somebody else was in on it that was in the crowd, and he bet that it was in another place where I was like, "There's no way it's there," and I bet, and
Yeah,
boom,
you
they
got
took my money.
I bet you
And I
did.
was like, "Oh!" And right there, that's the best lesson to learn, because I was like, "Wow!" I got taken by people who are willing to do things that I would never think to do. There's bad people out there. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I never messed with that
Grimy ass
again.
people up there. That's why you stick to a book. Don't use a bookie.
All right. Well, was that the first time you met JLR in real life when he took your money?
Oh man, he wouldn't have. He's not smart enough to do what these guys did. These guys were slick, man.
Yeah.
But
Burden of proof. I bingo a few times. Like I don't know why it's fun. It's like an old lady thing. I'm not even an old lady, but I like playing bingo every
It reminds me of South Beach. I'll be
twice a
honest.
year.
Color, your avatar.
Oh, mine? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with palm trees. I
Yeah.
love palm trees. We have two giant. We live in Illinois, but we have two giant fabricated palm trees that I have
I, w-
lights around them and everything. They hold our hammock, and so like just love.
Nice. I got an Airbnb
Yeah.
next month in
the only palm trees in Illinois, I would imagine.
Probably. There's not many.
I just
yeah,
can't
those
grab
fuckers don't grow up there.
money,
So
and
we
that's
just
why.
travel to
Yeah.
tropical places as often as possible.
That's cool, man. Yeah, like when you made that JLR video, and then you were like, "Yeah, I'm going on vacation with my hubs." I was like, "Go, girl!" I was like,
Thanks.
"You do." And then you come back, and you're like, "What in the shit happened here?" Like
I
there was a
know it was
Yeah, you left at a
insane.
really awkward, not awkward, but like bad time. I don't know if you call it bad time,
It
right?
wasn't a bad time for me. I enjoyed the hell out of it. But no,
True,
Mr.
true.
Dietz, he surprised me for my birthday, so it's like, yeah, I'm not
Well, I
turning
mean,
that down
you
or
got
anything.
you got a lot of work to do with all the clips now. You got tons of clips. you know.
Yeah. And it was just I completely unplugged. And I recommend people do that from time
You
to
got to do
time.
that.
Like
You got to do
you
it.
do. You really need to protect your mental health that way and just completely unplug. And guess what? This whole crap, it's still here when you get back. So
Yeah, because
it's
these
just
are
something
real
different.
people. These are real
Mhm.
people here in the chat and on the panels, but this isn't real life. It's I don't know how to explain that. It's just it doesn't have to be like there are boundaries set, and YouTube is set up for you to be able to have those boundaries and protect those boundaries. And then when people violate those boundaries, like that's why it's really wrong. Like you have every right to be anonymous on here, You have every right to say whatever you want on here and be anonymous, and that should be respected. You know, just if you
You
don't
can
like what
turn it
somebody
off
says,
anytime
Well, you
you
don't think
want.
Tim should have to
However you
put his
want.
camera
turn
on?
it off or out with them. You know, and say something funnier than they are. You know what I mean? Make a video. Be
Right.
creative. This is a platform for creativity. You know, like
Yeah.
enjoy it. Use it.
Laura's
Absolutely.
the one
Well,
thing is
when
Tim doesn't show his face. He doesn't show his
he doesn't.
face.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
okay.
show my
Yeah,
face.
like, oh
I
my
wonder why,
God.
Laura.
Mine wasn't intentional when I created this channel with the other D who isn't really working on things right now because of her own personal life. But she wanted to be anonymous mainly, and I respect her reasons for why. For me, it doesn't matter. But now that I have been, it's kind of like, I'm just going to continue to be so for however
Yeah,
long I choose to.
because I just think you're supposed to, because a lot of times you just don't know the wackadoos that come around. Like there's some people
Right.
that might think you're part of some sort of evil cabal and just come to your house with a gun and start shooting. And there's plenty of YouTubers that have had situations like that. The first security you got is your anonymity. So
Right.
Yeah,
um,
I actually set up uh, a live stream with somebody that, and because I'm going to explain their situation, I'm not going to say who they were, but it would have been somebody that people would have really enjoyed listening to, and really enjoyed their insight, and because of the reason why I wanted to have them on my channel on a live stream. Because of that reason, they ended up getting a lot of threats, and they were like, you know what, I'm actually a pretty private person, and we were talking about it, and we were all setting it up, and we were excited about it, and this person was like, look, I'm getting threats. Somebody sent a Google Earth image of my house to me, and blah blah blah, and I was just like, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed because you could really make an impact here, and really turn a lot of heads, but and really, like I said, be insightful and provide a perspective that could actually enlighten people. But it just wasn't worth it to them. I understand that,
Yeah.
I
it
don't even
happens.
see how it gets to that though. How does it even get to that where someone's
Yeah.
gonna be that you say something on the internet and someone's gonna take it that seriously? That to me that just blows my mind, man. I mean, I don't mind showing my face. I could care less, but I'm not gonna print out my name and stuff like that. But it's just why are you gonna take it? You just like Deet said, you just need to unplug. If you're that much into this internet crap, I always tell everybody it's YouTube, man. It's not real life, man. Like if you take anything seriously on here, then that it's on you almost. At this point, I got I got over blaming the creators, blaming everybody for this stuff. I'm on the people that are just like there supporting it. That's the problem with YouTube.
I agree with you totally.
It's not the creators, because if no one would watch it, no one would support them, then they wouldn't even be here to do that. And YouTube would
Exactly.
be such a great place. So, and I went to that part. It took me years to get to that point. Kylie Rodney, like that whole case. I never said nothing. I never came on anything. I never voiced my opinion in chat or anything. As soon as that happened, and I saw all the crap happen with that, I was like, I have to say something at this point. And then
Right.
like Deet said, you have to
And that
unplug
got
because
insane. That got completely
yeah,
insane. And the ironic part of it is no crime ever even took place.
wait a minute.
Like
Wait. I gotta call you out. You don't think it was a GoFundMe scheme to split for $40,000 between 300 people?
I mean, it was just so funny to me that everybody thought, like, and nobody wanted to let go because the people, and what's ironic again about that case is, and that wasn't even a case, is that this proved the problem with tragedy pimping, right? Because the
yeah,
tragedy pimps really showed themselves. As soon as it was proven that no crime even took place, these people, a bunch of them,
kept going.
doubled down and were like, no, well, then it was a conspiracy and the police ran on it and then they lied and blah, blah, blah. No, dude, just accept the fact that the girl ended up driving when she shouldn't have been driving in the dark and ended up in the water, and
Can
it's
we all
tragic
agree?
and it's sad.
Tragic accident. Yeah.
Can we all agree
Right.
Adventures with Purpose? Jared was like one of those fucking people that basically
Totally.
lied. He lied. I saw his
Mhm.
recent video about advertising
He
his
is the
shitty
worst
fucking
one.
his shitty key thing, the breakout thing, the car. And he says, yeah, some people, most people actually go to the back of the car when it's filling up with water. He says it in his recent
Right.
video. If you watch it, this motherfucker knew that, and he lied to everyone.
Well,
He's
that
a
was
piece
the
of
thing
shit.
too with the Kylie Rodney case, is that all these creators they started lying about stuff, bringing false narratives, and just like, oh, this was said, this is, oh, someone from Truckee said this. It was all lies. It was just them to promote some narrative to get them clicks and views, and that's when the money rolled in. And that's, I mean, that opened my eyes to everything on this. I was just like, whoa, that's what it's all about now. They're just after the money, and they're using these people's tragedies to
Oh
make the
yeah.
money, and that was horrible. And I have no
Zav
sympathy for
Girl,
any of these people in this space
Zav
anymore.
Girl was the worst one as far as YouTubers, like besides Jared. Like Zav Girl just kept on just showing images of random people in these pictures, and they're teenagers. Who's this guy? Who's that guy?
I
And I
don't
mean,
know, guys. What do you
Oh yeah,
guys think?
but I just wanted
and
to,
we're talking thousands of dollars that she pulled in, like tens of thousands of dollars she pulled in through that case. And
well,
it
just
was
all of
just
it was the
because,
lies, like the lies, not, doing that. Yeah, that's horrible. But they were interjecting these lies into the case, and I think they did it with the Idaho 4 too. There was a lot of these lies being put in the case, and it's like they're just making it up for clicks and views, and
Yeah, she
that's
has
the
to
point
hold
where
her panel
they're not.
accountable. She
There's
doesn't
no
do that.
facts. There's nothing to back any of it up. It's just bullshit lies, and these people. That's why I hate subscribers. I hate these supporters of these people, because
You
they're like
hate
this.
subscribe.
I do. They're just crazy. Like, how can you look at that and be like, yes, you're so correct. That makes so much sense. It's just a bull-faced lie to get you to give them money. It's like
Do you
it was so
do you
obvious.
think
It was
it
like a
is a
slap in the
herd
face.
mentality, or is it just a glorifying of
Well,
their
it's
favorite
everything.
creator?
That's what we were talking about earlier. I don't think it was just
Mhm.
like nowadays with the Mallory thing. It's not just people that hate Mallory, or I'm sorry, Molly. That's going after her. It's a whole bunch of stuff. It's someone that's sitting there at home and has nothing, and they're like, "Hey, I go online. I'm a big shit online when I'm in chat. I become a moderator. I become this. That's community part of it, and then you have other people that are like, oh, I'm just there to troll, man. I'm pissing everybody off today. They don't even know what channel they're in. They're just in there they said the opposite of everything just to piss someone off. And then you have other things that the creators are lying, bringing stuff in, creating this like fabricated thing just for clicks and views and money. That's
You
all it
don't
is.
think Icamel sells children because of like
No,
just
but
with
let me tell you
wordplay?
this story. Let me tell you a story about that. Since I
I
came in
have
on
no
the Molly
respect for you,
Rodney,
Packless. I have no respect for you. I can't
I
believe
don't.
you believe
Tacos is
that.
over.
You're gonna love this then, because I was listening to Ickmill that time when Ronnie went on there, and oh, there's an echo.
Yeah, I heard too.
That's
Yeah.
that's DeetS because she has an echo. That's always
Sorry.
Is
DeetS. We
it?
know DeetS. Yeah, we know it's you,
I,
DeetS.
I don't hear an
So,
echo.
Oh,
so
It's
I'm in
gone
there
okay.
now.
and I'm like, Ronnie called, and I'm like, man, this sounds like bullshit. And I really thought that Ickmill knew Ronnie, and had him call in just to drum up some clicks
I
and
thought
views
that
at
too,
the time.
Packless. I
And
thought that.
when
No.
Ryan Upchurch first came in and said that, I'm like, yeah, man, you tell him. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? They're in on it. I'm like, hold up, dude. I'm like, that's when it just got crazy. But I'm like, right at first, when he first like, yeah, man, there's something shady going on here with Ronnie and Ickmill. I'm like, I can see that. And with all the other stuff, because we just went through it with that Joseph Morris guy, with him and his stupid little fucking dog that he pets next to him. He totally lies about shit, and it was all a lie just for clicks and views and stuff. And I was like, it was right after that happened. I was like, oh wait, something's going on here. And then the whole Upchurch fiasco happened. It kind of stopped the whole thing on Ickmill, but it kind of still promoted him. I mean, he's big news now. Not that he wasn't before, but that kind of bumped him up a little bit more in other spaces of YouTube, not just what he was in. And I think it's all a freaking scam. It's all entertainment. It's all bullshit. Like fucking Dolly drama when I look at him, it's TMZ, it's Star Magazine, it's what catches your eye as you're walking through the supermarket and the
Right.
chick food
Right.
line. You know, oh wait, what's going on? Oh yeah, you're an idiot. You know, after you listen for 2 minutes, but these other people are like, oh, this is so funny. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Because they're like, oh, they want that stupidity. They want that you know, Star Magazine. They want the National Enquirer. You know, oh, that's interesting. They don't want to hear like, you know, I'm a loser. I work at 7-Eleven and I can't get the slurping machine working. You know what I mean? Like it's all a game. The money.
That's the only thing I thought that Ryan
People are
Upchurch was
lying
actually onto
100%.
something, was him and Ronnie knowing each other, Equinel and Ronnie maybe knowing each other. Other than that, motherfucker
Yeah, then
batshit
he got
crazy.
totally fucking nuts, you know?
Adderall.
But there was nothing to indicate that they knew each other,
No,
which I
there
thought.
wasn't. But I was like, but that's where I was at that point. I'm like, that's how I feel about YouTube. I'm like, I feel like everyone's just lying. It's all a game. It's all an act, you know? Like no one sit here and like I said, the Kylie Rodney thing from the get-go, I'm like, man, I could see her getting drunk and driving the wrong way and having an accident. They just didn't find her right away. You know what I mean? Like I was full on team accident from the get-go, dude. I got so much shit for that. I was on AWP from the get-go. As soon as they came out with that stupid video, dude, and they mentioned that shit, I was like, oh no, they're shady. They're doing it for money. And then they put it behind the paywall or whatever they freaking did for subscriber. I'm like, dude, everybody knew that. And if you didn't see that from the get-go, that's why I'm looking at all these people in the chats and stuff. I'm like, how do they not see this, dude? Like, am I the only one that could see all this happening? It's like I'm in my own world and just like all this stuff is just falling right in line for me, but no one else can see this happening. It blew my mind. And that's why I came on here and had to say something at that time. And I've been on ever since.
And you're right to be frustrated with that. That's actually my frustration too. But the thing is it's the issue with how people look at these true crime cases now, because it's sold as a genre. And the reason why it's attractive is the drama that takes place in these cases. Now, what create drama channels do is a different story. That's not what I'm talking about. But they play off that. Don't make no mistake. They play off that aspect. Now, the problem is like I watch ID channel a lot, right? And I'll sit there and I'll watch, you know, case after case that they talk about. It'll take about 30 minutes when they talk about it. Great. And the thing that's so attractive about it is it's usually like a lover's quarrel that went terribly wrong, or a lover's triangle that went terribly wrong, or, you know, somebody stole money and then that person was going to find out about it and blah, blah, blah. So there wouldn't be a tragic murder that takes place unless there was drama that led up to it, right? So
well, you're not going to say, hey, some girl killed some guy.
Right, exactly. Because why would you care? Right. Why would you even bother with the story? The story's not interesting. The story becomes interesting when there's drama involved in it, right? So it's sold that way. It's marketed that way. That's why, I mean, if it wasn't, then Investigation Discovery wouldn't even be its own channel the way that it is. There's an entire channel where it's true crime 24/7, dude. You know what I mean? Like, enough to fill a channel.
Yeah, but there's usually like those channels, those TV shows have like some kind of standard. When it's YouTube, it's like you got these people who are claiming that they're journalists, and now like fucking JLR is like, I'm a gonzo journalist. Like that's a compliment, bro.
Agreed. But what I'm saying is that gets lost. It gets lost in translation, and then it gets to that point. The lost in translation part. What happens that what gets lost in translation is, you know, the difference between people being characters on a TV or on your computer screen and actually being real people, because that gets clouded, that gets lost somewhere. And then these people who we like to call tragedy simps, okay, those people will basically just they're looking for the most dramatic outcome. That's what happened with the Kylie Rodney case. Well, let's find out who the lover's quarrel was. Oh, the ex-boyfriend, he must have been jealous, and Sammy Smith was jealous, so she must have done it, blah, 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 blah. When all it was just a girl who got drunk at a very young age, and she was hanging out with people who were older than her, and she wasn't ready for it, and she drove her car into the water. But that's not entertainment. what's entertaining is the whodunit. Finding out, figuring it out, blah blah blah, and everybody's a fucking sleuth, and everybody's a detective, everybody's a lawyer.
But Laura doesn't believe. We'll find out. Laura says we'll find out what really happened.
Right,
Well,
exactly.
it's tragic because the truth is already bad enough. Nine
Right.
times out of 10, the truth is already dramatic enough or enough if you just share the truth. And I hate that there's always so much
And
misinformation
that's the
added to it.
irony. That's the
Yeah.
irony, because these people who are doing it for the grift, right? They're lying and they're making shit up and they're spreading rumors. The people who are doing that for the grift are shooting themselves in the foot, because if you just actually put the work in and do the research and deliver the information in an entertaining and in a organized manner, well, that's how you end up being a true crime creator that ends up having 100, 2, 3 to a million, 1,000 to a million subscribers. You know what I mean? Those people who these tragedy pimps that we call out, they never get more than what, 20,000, maybe 50,000 subscribers. No, it doesn't ever go beyond that, because
You're wrong.
There's a couple that get above it. Yeah.
Chris McDonough.
Oh, Chris McDonough's the exception to the rule. Yeah, he's
Molly Go Lightly.
Well, Molly Go Lightly only has what, 70 now?
80, 85.
Okay. All right, fair enough. So my number's off. But what I mean is they're never going to get up to like 1 million, you know? They're never going to get national recognition. And then even when it scratches, what ends up happening, people at the end of the day are smart. The majority of people are smart. They have a high standard. You know what I mean? Because like it's like J is for Justice. Take her, for instance. Okay. J is for Justice ended up getting national recognition for the Heidi Broussard case. And it was a fluke. It was insane. And she ended up on Dateline. They flew her out to New York and interviewed her on Dateline, when what she was doing, this is really funny, she was dragging the boyfriend. Okay. She had a so-called friend that knew everybody, and she contacts Jay and says, I know them, so I want to speak up. And she's like, okay. And she does this live, and they just sit there basically spending 3 hours making every implication that Shane Carey was responsible for Heidi Broussard and their infant daughter's disappearance, when that didn't happen. And what's funny is nobody knew what happened to them yet. And while she's live with this person, okay, this is really funny. While she's live with this person, the case breaks, right? Cops raid a house and it's on the news and it's related to the Heidi Broussard case. They don't know what's going on, but she's live and she's covering it with this person on her panel, right? Now, it turns out that their friend Megan Faramuska faked the pregnancy and was her pregnancy buddy throughout the whole pregnancy, and then had this plan to kill her and steal her baby. And that's what happened, right? And Shane Carey, being the boyfriend, was just distraught, had no idea what was going on. And then now, because the case broke while she was live, the local news picked it up, and somebody told them that J is for Justice is live right now covering it. They're like a local YouTuber who had a friend of theirs. And they didn't talk about what they were talking about. Nothing. Right. And then she edits the live stream, and it's only starting from the point where she gets the news that the cops are raiding this house. Right. So it becomes completely dismissed and forgotten about that she was accusing the wrong person, a man who was completely distraught and who was completely just in a world of torment, not knowing where his infant daughter is and her mother. And then she ends up getting the attention of Good Morning America from that local news station. Then Good Morning America, that gets attention from Dateline, and then Dateline flies her out. And then I think she gains something around 20,000 subs from that. Right. And then it's all forgotten about, and it's all good. And she never pays for anything.
Well, I mean,
she's never held accountable.
Yeah. Fucking sucks.
Well, that's a shame.
Well, but it only lasts for a little. Like, look at like Zav Girl. Like, she's got like 90 people or like 200 people. It's like, it does, like, I think it's just like, it only lasts for a little bit for the case.
Oh, really? I didn't know that, Tim. She dropped that low.
Yeah, she
Well,
was dropping low.
that's what I'm saying is that's what I'm saying is you were making the point earlier that there was that it's the subs. Oh my God, they make me so mad because you wish that they would have a higher standard, right? There are channels like mine that are trying to bring more awareness to that. But that's all I feel like I can do. You know what I mean? That's all I feel like I can
TV
do.
channel as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
rock a lot.
Anyway, it was good talking to you, Deets, Claire,
But you're
Boston.
Yep.
right.
You guys have a good one.
Thank you for hopping up here, B Tim. I'm gonna get off here pretty quick too and send everybody over to the hive because I think Queen's gonna go live. But I'm really glad that we could all have this conversation about, just the simple fact that we don't have to pick a side. We don't have to trust Mallory yet.
I only pick my side. I hate you all, and I particularly don't like anyone. I pick my own side. So I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate
You're a
you.
liar. You said you loved me the other night. I heard it.
Have a
I
fucked
did hear
day.
that.
Everyone have a fucked day, just like that lady said. Bye.
It was good talking to you, man.
Good talking.
Bye,
Bye.
B Tim.
Yeah,
I still love
Tim
you.
is only smart when he says one thing. He says, "Listen to both sides and come to your own conclusion."
Someone's got. Let me see.
That was my fault.
Okay, I'm
My
like, who is that?
Trust
my
me,
TV
back chat
unmuted.
knows better.
All right, thanks for
Yeah.
having me up, Deets.
Yes,
Thank you for
Deets.
coming up, Populous Jones. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your commentary.
Thanks. See you, Blair. See you, Boston.
Yeah, nice
everybody.
talking to you.
I'll see you over at Queen's Deets.
Yes, I was just
remember
putting
Molly's
that
chicken
in
cutlets.
there.
For life.
Yes, and we do need to remember, Boston wrote it in the back chat, that we do need to remember Molly's mom. Absolutely. I do have
Yeah.
complete sympathy for her, and we should
Even
be.
if she doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. But she deserves to be in our thoughts and our prayers if that's what you choose to do.
Agreed.
And it's a very sad, tragic situation. So hopefully she's on the mend and she'll get better.
Hey, thanks for having me up. I
Yeah,
don't want to
thanks
be
for hopping up. I'm
drag this
so
on.
thankful for everyone.
But yeah, no, this was a great conversation, man. Like, it was really productive. It's the first time I've had one of those on a panel with a lot of people. I try to avoid them generally, but I trust you and your channel, and so I felt comfortable. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It was really nice to get everybody's opinions, and I truly do like, even if they differ from my own, because there were several
Right.
tonight that differ from my own, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, and everybody was really cool about it. So yeah, like I'm gonna leave this live feeling really refreshed about the community right now because
Right.
it was really pleasant, very
We
very
need
pleasant.
some more of these moments for sure, where everybody can just, discuss things and be free to do so and hope for change. I think we all still have to work on what we can actually do, because I think that's the one spot we're all stuck, is what we can truly do.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, yeah, man, keep doing what you're doing. You're awesome. Like I
Thank
love your
you.
perspective. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for hopping up, Claire.
All right, talk to you later.
Thank you, Mike. Well, I'm so glad that everyone came in and just, gave us all a moment to discuss this and a space to discuss it, because I know that there are a lot of chats right now where you feel like you can't say, I don't like this or I don't like that, and I don't like that I feel like I'm being forced to pick or whatnot. So I'm very thankful that everyone was, really good in chat and on the panel. I just want to thank everyone for that. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Love, love.